Right, this is going to be another episode of Thorinquiry, my interview series here on my side channel, and I've got a return guest for this one. It's going to be, of course, Charls Carroll, who you might remember I did a previous one with, which I can't even really summarise. It was all over the place. Like I ran in the headline, like checking out of Babylon or something. Like essentially, like who even knows what our topics were, but we definitely had a very interesting convo. And I thought we'd have you back because, I mean, it's the sort of discussion where could just go on for hours and hours. There's so many other things we could have talked about and so many things we could explore. But I saw recently you did a different podcast, and one area you were talking about, which was similar to the idea of the checking out Babylon idea that I wanted to get into, was when people look into alternative research, conspiracy theory, whatever the angle might be that they want to call it, just essentially doing your own research. One of the problems becomes it is essentially like a never-ending maze. And even if you really are finding new facts, like new theories, new angles, maybe even like on some level, some sorts of wisdom, it is sort of like self-containing. Like I almost feel like that activity in itself, in a weird sense, as long as you're not publishing too much, is also something that essentially the control structure would want. They'd want you to actually just waste endless time sort of in an archive, as it were, looking at scrolls, going, I found the truth. No, wait. Then, it goes deeper. Chapter 2, yeah. Scroll 3. You can do that forever, right?
Oh, you can do it forever. Hey, I appreciate you having me on again. It's always freaking good. Really had a good blaster the last time, and it's really nice to continue with this. And yeah, what people don't understand is, okay, look, people don't understand counter-intel pro, okay? They don't understand military campaigns or warfare. They don't understand that the waters are muddied by people that get paid to muddy the waters professionally and troll you forever. So people have no idea the stuff that they're bouncing around and around and around is straight up counter-intel pro, and they're just parroting things that straight up waste your life energy, and they also lower your social credit rating for the future.
There you go. Exactly. Because that was another thing. Like, as I say, I actually think it's intentional. I even wanted to know this. Obviously, if anyone's heard our past conversation or seen our videos in this regard, we're going to get abstract. Don't worry about that, guys. One thing I would say is I also wonder, like, I can certainly see, like, a literal element of that. Like, I can even see the way. Essentially, here's one thing I always think about when I think about these sites and stuff. It's like, mate, some of this shit I'm watching on YouTube. Like, it's just on YouTube. And even that, the algo's recommended it to me. Then there's a guy, I'm told he's banned everywhere. I'm watching him on the internet as well. Like again, this stuff isn't being hidden. It's only being hidden from certain people. And in fact, the joke is if I want to see it, as long as I separate myself off a little bit from the, I can go and see as much as I want. So essentially they're telling me you can keep getting fed this illegal drug, as it were, just to your heart's content, soothe yourself with it. But what I want to ask was this. Do you think, because one thing we touched on before, it's another area I really vibed with a lot of your Twitch videos, actually, even though they were just off the cuff sort of rants and little thoughts, was the idea that, like, I mean, without going biblical, the idea there are like greater forces or influences maybe above the human mind or consciousness or whatever. So I wanted to know this. Do you think an element of this is somehow tied into whatever reality is? Like, does reality itself, in some way, when we search for this stuff, does it mold and morph itself and react to what we're searching for and what we want and what we're looking for and keep feeding us it or lead us to? Do you think any of that happens?
Oh my God, absolutely. When you're on the internet, you're face to face with an artificial intelligence that has a god level of surveillance. So, I mean, first of all, you cannot defeat it. It's unassailable.
Yes,
and it will rule you without you knowing. It will create a psychological profile of you, and it will fuck you over and make you think that you're getting somewhere and making your life better. And it's just eating your life and wasting your life and making a fool out of you. And so there's no way. I mean, like everything, the algorithm on everything, YouTube, all of the social media everywhere. Listen, cameras, microphones. I mean, this is all old news, but you say you need one thing, and next thing you know, you're getting ads on it.
Yes.
If it happens in one avenue of the internet, it means that is the avenue of the internet. You're face to face with a freaking a surveillance artificial intelligence, and there's no way to defeat it. The only way you can is just to check out. And people don't understand how powerful these things are. And there are forces there are certainly higher or lower forces, however you want to describe it, that are dictating things because it's not. I mean, look, they always told us that we're animals and we're all evil, but I don't believe that. And the things that enslave mankind to this degree, invisibly, by way of deception, are things that are thousands of years old. They're
Yes.
technology. That's, you know, it's all, strategy is technology, is military technology. People don't get
Yes.
it. They think it's just philosophy or psychology. No, it's a military thing. There's nothing in this world that isn't a military organization. People don't get it. People have no idea. Like, oh no, I mean, you know, they wouldn't do things like that and this and that. Oh, the world. No, no. The wickedness I see in the world is, it can only be dictated by things that want humanity dead and eliminated and merged with a computer, just so they can create hell on earth and make this world like their home, the demon's home,
Yes.
of no death, of no life, of no freedom, no nothing. Because these entities, whatever you want to call these intelligences, even if it's a man or a woman who's been sort of initiated into this intelligence, they're not alive anymore.
Yeah, they are kind of undead, right?
Oh yeah, it's legion, you know, legion from the Bible. The
Right.
things that are many. They're one. They share one intelligence, one aim, but they are many. They're golems, and no one is ever going to believe that. I mean, never. The only time they're going to believe it is a minute before there's a gunshot to the back of their head up against the wall.
And then the joke
you know,
is, as the gun's on their head, they will be like, you know, I think we need to start having a really serious conversation about what that like fucking line that everyone says on the internet that just delays ever having a conversation, you know.
Yeah, I hope 30 seconds is long enough to get good with the creator.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. People don't have any idea that that there's straight up doppelganger profiles of themselves working against them artificially, full time. They don't need to be. I mean, there are people that are paid to do it, but an algorithm is not paid. It does these things because that's what it does. A machine is wicked. A machine that builds more machines is wicked technology. And the Industrial Revolution was a mistake. It turned the world into hell. It turned everyone into worse than a serf. I just turned you into just mud.
It's why, if you remember on the last one, I pointed out that, again, here's the like general sign you can use. It's not as simple as just whatever's in the mainstream is wrong, but essentially, like, if you think of what it spiritually represents, it is always inverted, is what I always say.
Oh.
So, for example, I gave the example that the genius is, it's even the people they present as your rebels and revolutionaries within the system. The message they tell you is the reason why you don't have to worry about all this evil shit is because exactly what you're talking about. The Industrial Revolution fixed everything. It raised us all out of the poverty, which I said they only measure by raw GDP, probably the most demonic possible metric you can judge, like the health of a society on. You know, they just looked at stuff like that, and the joke is the fact that they're telling you that angle is exactly why that isn't the case. That what they want you to go right. Let's go back to this point in history, but that's still not at the point where you would have rectified anything. You'd still be heading down this path, wouldn't you? You'd still be going to some form
it's always
of
a false
technocracy.
pretense.
Yes,
Always a false pretense that they're operating on. Always on a foundation that is on sand. And they don't understand that the first step they take is already on sand. And even if they build a big castle of facts and knowledge, it still is meaningless and will sink to nothing. And these people, you know, boom bada wallet's getting fatter. You know, all these people that do all this stuff, boom bada, they're all super wealthy, super rich. Super wealthy, super rich, huge fan bases, huge influence, I guess, if you want to call it that. But there are no influencers with real influence. There's no such thing. If you actually had real influence, well, you'd
probably
be
enemy
dead.
number one, right? Yeah.
You'd be dead. You'd be nowhere. So all these heroes online are, I mean, look, sometimes I talk trash, but you know, I mean, hey, I can't always be nice all the time. These people are scum, and they're worse than the oppressors. They have no idea they're working against themselves and all of those people that follow them.
You think about it, dude. They're claiming a kind of stolen valor. They're the hero who's fighting against this, but they're clearly paid and they profit. And they also, you notice, conveniently, they're just happy staying in the position they're in. Well, if it was really what you say it is, guys, and the world's what it is, you'd be battling like, you know, we've got to go like to the end to beat this. And it's like, no, I'm gonna comfortably keep you in my own version of the fear and uncertainty and doubt spiral, but just from a different bent. What do you want? Do you want it to be about this group? Do you want it to be about this religion? Do you want it to be about this culture? You pick the theme. I'll keep giving you the same shit that you were getting. It's like, you know, that old joke in the old Simpsons episodes, which obviously have so many classic moments. You know, when they go to the Duff factory and it like the idea is Duff Light and Duff, you know, whatever, sugar free, all just come out the same pipe. And it's like, you just drink the beer, you bloody idiot. You remember that?
Damn, I'll have a Duff. You have one too, man.
Exactly.
I haven't seen that. Yeah, it's all the same pipe, and no one will ever understand. And people are, you know, talking about religions, they're talking about races, they're talking about sexualities, they're talking about sexes or genders, I guess, if you're a plant. anything like that. And well, no one really worries about the real thing, which I guess you could call it Legion, you could call it Wetiko, you could call it Satan, you could call it Shaitan, you could call it anything you want. But an infection, a spiritual infection, is black magic, witchcraft, and sorcery. And unless you're sort of relatively adept at recognizing strong manipulation, it'll be invisible your whole life until enough time has gone where there's no going back. Even if everyone had suitcase nukes, it wouldn't matter. It's over. It's over, over, over. And people don't like hearing that it's over. But I mean, that's just the way history rolls. I don't know anything about timelines or alternate dimensions. I mean, I have no idea. But clearly, those in power are master material manipulators with intention and thought and ritual and warfare and suffering. And people have no idea about those things, and I don't really recommend people that know about that. I guess you're better off just reading the Bible and see what happens to the people that screw with demons and that. But the great tradition of old Solomon and his sex magic and demon worshiping and demon conjuring. I mean, those days never went away.
It's a lot more ubiquitous than people understand. They just relabeled it, repackaged it. Yeah,
it's all the names have changed.
One thing I'd love to ask you about is this, because obviously I know you have experienced this, and I myself have as well. So we'll be careful how we broach this topic. But essentially, another thing that I noticed goes hand in hand with finding these things out. This is why there is that quote, like, be careful unearned wisdom, is when you get that information, a lot of people can't do what I think we've been able to do, which is sort of like when you, depending on who you're talking to, you sort of withdraw a little bit and you don't go into that. You don't become the intense guy just screaming about stuff when you just meet people. If you do that, that's actually another effect of finding the information out, right? You feel alienated. You feel isolated. Yep. You seem crazy if you talk about it. And so in that scenario, like, it ends up like you either say all the stuff to people and you're going to absolutely be a pariah, or in the case, if you haven't done work on yourself and you haven't built up your life, you're going to be sort of tormented internally that you can't say anything.
Yeah, you really do. And if your life isn't strong enough, well, the inclination or the drive to put forth in this world secrets and unearth secrets and expose revelation is a honeypot.
Yes,
it's a honeypot.
Yeah.
And people are never going to understand. They're going to say, "Oh no, you won't name them." Well, you
the classic one.
Who's they? Who's they? I'm like, who's they? I was like, have you read the Pentateuch or fucking or anything, Joshua, whatever, anything where there's extreme magic and genocide every day of the week, genocides and sex magic, mutilations to win battles. I mean, all different kinds of insane shit. I mean, people they have no idea, and it's always an attractive thing to look like you're knowledgeable. I mean, yes. I consider myself to have first of all, I'm a bona fide moron. I've come to grips very deeply with my relatively low intelligence, and I start from there, admitting that I'm literally a moron. I can be a bastard sometimes to myself or to others. Yeah. That's the first step I take when in any topic, anytime, anything at all. I try my best not to judge anybody unless I put myself to the same degree. And the same thing comes with forgiveness. If you're not going to forgive those who have screwed you over, then I mean, how can you expect forgiveness when the end of your life comes or whenever the hell? Like you can't have it both ways. To be a sort of an aggressor at the same time as in the ivory tower and withdrawn, like it's just not really possible. And I start with the basic premise that I'm literally a moron and an idiot, and I don't really know anything. And the only purpose of me on there to discover these things is to make my life less tortured. And maybe other people that are ready to stop worrying about they and them and all that freaking misdirection, straw man, and fakeness. And then maybe they'll understand that all this stuff isn't worth talking about. And you know what? The people that do get it, I mean, good, make your life better. The people that don't get it, fuck them.
Yes. No, I have
How's
a very
that?
similar perspective because I know people love to do that thing of like, right, categorize yourself. Are you like the white pill, blue pill, red pill, black pill guy?
You got
It's
a
like
label
no
on it?
pills, no pills for me anymore, right? First of all,
Yeah.
even that analogy is kind of a bit of a fucked up metaphor, isn't it? Like, we all have to be on pills. Like,
Oh,
I wonder how
Matrix,
that could relate
Matrix,
to life. I
Matrix.
know exactly. And then also, I would just say this: I'm not trying to be on any pill. What I'm trying to be is pure, if that makes sense. Like,
Yep.
I'm actually, you know, that famous thing where they always say, like, the Chinese say, you know, may you live in interesting times. I want to. I'm glad I live right now. I actually feel like in some fucked up way, I was almost called to live in this time period because I can see how a lot of people who had wonderful lives before, they would hate this. This would torture people in my family tree, maybe, or people who I've known, etc., who were brilliant people. This isn't the time for them. Because I have to say, one thing I think of is, I'll tell you a movie that people love to cite as a classic sort of alternate niche history. It's that one Dark City from the 90s. You know, that one that was sort of a precursor to Matrix. I always think the end of that, dude, first of all, that is one that ages better and better and better in terms of the subplots and themes. And especially, obviously, that whole the other and this examining us using a fake city, bro, that's fucking insane already. But the ending of it is what everyone misses. Spoiler, if you, I'm watching, I'd go watch it. Right? Basically, the ending is the guy realizes, a la the Matrix, hence why it's such a fucking obvious, like, almost like a fucking proto-Matrix. His sort of realization is, wait a minute, if my mind actually can sort of, like, shift this reality, why don't I just stay in this reality and make it fucking sick? Maybe there isn't even a way out of this reality, as they imply in that. So actually, wouldn't that be the best thing I could do now?
He just lives on a vacation.
Yeah, just embrace my power and have whatever I want to happen. I'll start creating, basically.
Oh yeah, and that's the power that is that it needs your permission to abdicate from yourself. Everyone has the power to design. Oh, look, it sounds pretty hokey, and it really does. But everyone has the power to sort of design their reality and their perspective. And even if you're good at prayer or ritual or things like that, then you can even sort of manipulate matter or health in certain ways in a positive way. Instead, everyone's worried, so they're praying for their own death. They're worried about death. They're worried about suffering. They're worried about disease. I mean, those things, when they're in your mind all the time, they work against you. The cells
There's a great Terence McKenna line, mate. There's a Terence McKenna line where he said, worry is like praying to the devil.
Yeah, praying for what you don't want.
Yeah, exactly.
It prays to the devil, and that's the power that is the main power, the way of deception that will make people abdicate their God-given whatever the hell you want to call it. It doesn't seem like there are many God-given rights on the earth anymore, but there are. I mean, they can remove them, but it doesn't mean that it was supposed to be this way. I mean, it's just how subjugation works. People like to talk about this and that and slavery and this and that. I mean, oh my God, these people, the chains in the modern times on everyone that thinks they're free are so heavy, so big. It's people, and we're still talking about things from freaking, whatever history that like they fucking mean a damn when everyone is a worse off slave than they were freaking hundreds or thousands of years ago. The torment these days is orders of magnitude greater than in the past, but it's just done so skillfully and with such with cooperation from the golems and also technology, which is created by the devil. Clearly, technology is clearly the worst. Machines are the worst, and people really don't have any idea, and a lot of them never will. I mean, they will when things get bad enough, but by that time it'll be too late. And I mean, I don't want to say it's already too late. I don't like to discourage any things like that, but I mean, in terms of moving the world in a positive direction, I mean, do you know anybody with any good ideas? I don't.
They're definitely not allowed in the mainstream, that's for sure.
No.
They're the kind of person you'd have to meet in real life, get the essentially like you used to in the past. You'd have to form a relationship with them, get to know them. Maybe they can then share something with you. But yeah, there's another thing, by the way, I actually think is one of the great misleading distractions of all time. It's this, you know, what I love is everything that's common sense is just bollocks programmed into people. That's nonsense. So I'll give you an example. Everyone always says, because this is the way, the genius of all the psyops, I always tell people who are in my circle, is the base root of the psyop is whatever your reaction to the initial thing they want most people to do is also counted for. So like as a quick aside, like basically they'll say in the same ways you can be programmed by the internet, they'll go, yes, but also all human information and stuff you could ever want is free on the internet. That's absolutely nonsense, man. That is utter fucking bollocks. watch most of the best shit isn't. The joke is you don't even know what it is that isn't on the internet, and all the stuff deleted off the internet, and all the stuff that'll never be on the internet, and all the things that, as you say, people can't say publicly that won't ever be on the internet. So essentially, the genius is don't leave the maze. Just stay in the maze. Don't leave. I know you see it's all bad. It's all manipulating you, but if you stay, there is a way out. There's a way out through. But as you say, like, you can't go into the realm of, project yourself into the realm of the demons and then go, I'm going to beat you guys using your own realm. It's like, bro, this is our realm. Like, you know, a minute ago, we had to come into your realm where you can beat us all day long. But you want to come into our realm? Like, fucking hell, this is brilliant. And what's more, you send in your kids and your wife and all them separately. They're all going to, like, mate, but I don't think people know what they're doing nowadays, do they?
No, not one person. I don't know any other people. Everyone's philosophy is fighting fire with fire.
Yes.
You know, you got to get back. There's immigration here, and this. I mean, it's not even worth talking about topical things, but sometimes you can't help but see them. People raving and about, you know, winning a meme war. You know, if it left or right or whatever the hell, like, oh, immigration comes to the left, and then they start complaining. I say we send more over there, and we'll own them. We'll own them by what?
The psyop, exactly. By doing what you just said, you were expressly against, which started this whole cycle. Exactly.
Yeah, people don't understand it. So I don't. There's no such thing like those topical, those lightning rod, third rail topics that we're supposed to talk about. Dude, I'd rather die. I'm talking about immigration. I'm like this. Well, they should go back to the. Oh my God. You know, like I'm talking about politics. Like, you losers talk about politics or worry about anything, because it's a trap. And no matter what you do, the plan, the agenda, whatever you want to call it, the campaign marches on.
Yep.
It'll either march over you or march around you. It marches on. There's no way around it. People don't get it. And they're like, oh yeah, well, you see, you gotta stand up and fight for your. I'm like, you know what? I got to stand up and fight for my own sanity, my own quality of life, loved ones and friends. You know, not prostituting myself, doing things that I don't want to do, even though it'll make me for money that I would never do ever again, no matter what. I'm not going to prostitute myself out. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do that. I'm going to try my best to raise children. I'm going to, well, you know, they're going to be raising me. And I'm a moron. I'm a fool. But
there you go.
They'll force me. They'll force me to get better. And no one ever got better by talking about immigration.
Dude, you know, I think that's one of the greatest psyops ever. You know, this notion, this is the thing I always think about when I sort of pierce one of these veils. I'm like, wait, that veil didn't even exist before. I just thought it always did. So I'll give you an example of one. In the modern day, the most genius psyop goes like this. It's like, are you ready to have kids? It's like, it's the other way around as far as I can tell. Like, as far as I can tell, having
they make you ready to live
is the crucible that makes you, because the point is, if you really do have that love and that pure feeling for them, you will do anything for them. You will, like, change yourself and become a better person and improve yourself. You're not going to go like they all think when they sell the shit advert. Like, you're going to be waking up in the morning with crying that, you know what, you probably should be up in mornings anyway. Why are you waking up at 2 p.m. to play video games? Oh, but then it's going to, like, cost money and you're not going to be able to go on vacations. What, you mean the vacations where you go and try and fuck a load of women in bars and get on drugs? Like, the joke is they're selling you upsides as a downside. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They sell you hell to make it look like freedom. And people, I mean, again, people don't understand. They go along with it, and there's nothing that's going to break that spell, because most people's wills have been destroyed. I mean, God help them. Wills have been destroyed, and people don't understand the spirit and a real campaign of demoralization. They might quote some KGB defectors. Oh, well, look what's happening. Yes. They might quote Brave New World, which, you know, as you remember, is a textbook to enslavement.
Yes, exactly.
They might quote that and say, oh, you better wake up. And it just people don't know. I'm not going to have children because it's, you know, I can't do whatever I want. I mean, doing whatever you want. That's what is there in life? I mean, what do you do? What you're programmed to do? Just like you said, you go on spring break, you come back dead. You come back with a drug habit. No, you have kids. You're just you're gonna stay on drugs. You're gonna stay a loser. No. It doesn't work that way, because there are instincts that are built in to men and women, and that don't go away. They only go away when you're sort of sacrificed by technology. But you know, most normal people, I guess, if you want to use that word, they have instincts that are dormant and that are hushed up by seeing, watching Hollywood and TV, all the movies, giving birth. You're going to die. If there was a gun in your hand, you'd shoot yourself because the pain is so bad.
Well, it has to be painful. And in fact, you know what's even better, mate?
Puking.
then they do genius stuff. Like, again, without going too into the specifics, the genius will be, because it's going to be this bad and it's going to be the worst experience ever, it's all right, we've got some sort of alternatives for you, which, spoiler, we might literally have done, because maybe they even like interrupt the way, like, you know, the fucking soul enters the body, or some sort of connection between them. Like, but we're going to present it again. Like, we're going to fix a problem that we created because it was never the case. Like, when you ever look into those, I always tell people, one of my favorite breadcrumbs I sprinkle for people, as I say, just go and look at the invention of the toilet. Because the joke is, the Western toilet is the opposite of what you would ever invent. Like, the joke is, the guy that you think's primitive, who is shitting, squatting into a hole, is literally having way better fucking, like, digestion, like, expulsion of it. Like, he's not having any of these. Yeah, and the joke is, in the same way as the toilet is basically solving a problem that doesn't need to exist, they're doing the same things like that with birth and other things. Like, they're always, it's so smart, because it's like you said earlier, this is also why the approach of digging in the archives doesn't work. First of all, they're their archives. You'll never see the real secret ones that have all the shit that happened. No, they've done a very good job covering that up. And then secondly, they're only going to give you stories that lead you back to the same conclusions. So, for example, you're going to look up some ancient stuff and go like, we have to return to this, but it's like, that was just like essentially the joke version, the worst version of their technology, doing all that stuff to everyone. Like, you're not actually going back to any kind of a source. You're never going to escape out of their, I mean, the joke is like, I know this is hackneyed because everyone thinks it's whack, but it is called his story. You know, like, it isn't your story. It really isn't.
Yeah, and no one, it's really hard to discern because everything is so shrouded, and they hide the real things right in your face, and they don't even need to hide. Well, there's certain books that you really cannot get, but the facts and the truth can be put on the internet, and they're put on the internet by those working against you, and as they put one truth out, they'll put 1,000 lies. And it doesn't matter if someone even discovers the truth, because it's so mixed up and the demoralization is already complete when you spend time sifting through horrors and atrocity. And there's no way out. If you people think they're going to get some sort of answers from the internet. I mean, well, you've seen, I don't know if you've seen ebooks being altered, or Wayback Machine, or Internet Archive, that just not archiving sites anymore. Oh, that's no big deal. That's no big deal at all. That means everything is completely illegitimate and it's completely meaningless, and it's all just hyper trolling and military, and it's impossible to fight because the technology is unlimited. If you said something online that was really powerful, there could be a 50,000 bots commenting negatively, convincing the normies that you're completely wrong at first glance, and then you can get mass flagged out of existence.
Oh, you can. Oh, mate, I even thought another angle. Here's an angle for you that I think's funny. Because again, I take all these like general principles of like culture war, whether it's like, mate, those are obviously all fake. Like, I'll give you a famous one. Like, the internet never forgets. What about the Streisand effect? First of all, from what I know about the celebrity world, that stuff, just like paparazzi pictures, they're arranged by the fucking person's publicist. The joke is, that was probably a way to make Barbara Streisand really famous again when she was fucking waning in fame or something. So the joke is this. They would tell you, no, what will happen is if anyone gets banned off, then everyone in the world talk about them. So the opposite effect. No, I mean, we won't name the names near because, spoiler, it isn't a great end. Like, there's people who have been completely scrubbed off the internet, and you don't know their names if you're a random guy listening now, because if everyone isn't going to say their name, and if everyone did, by the way, they wouldn't even let it get to that point. They'd shut the fucking internet down before that could happen, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. They would. It's very, very easy to completely stop and then insert some other problem. Oh, well, looks like
distraction's the best ever, isn't it? They'll throw 4 fake distractions in your way before they'll let you explore the last one. Yep.
There's another war, or there's some sort of new technology that's really good or really bad, or we don't have. We're a first world country with unlimited money, unlimited resources. Well, you can't. There's no heating for the winter. There's bombs and missiles.
Dude, I'll tell you one of the funniest ones I've ever seen. Because everyone believes this was real. I won't say what the show is, but think of like some really big shows over the last 10 years. There was one dude where when it was coming to the last like season or two, and it was really falling off the rails, by the way, it was becoming like a pretty bad show. People could probably guess, but I'm not going to say the name, obviously. Essentially, right, this is not a joke. They kept claiming like, one of the like more obscure regional partners of our streaming services accidentally leaked the episode early, and it just created like fake internet hype for all the episodes, and everyone started watching again. It's like, these guys are fucking geniuses. geniuses. Like they know what the inputs to the machine are that they need to get the output from you that they want. These things don't. If you think those things happen by accident, like mate, that's the sort of thing in real life. Like that would be like thinking for real all the military secrets are going to get leaked. They're not. Like the ones that get leaked are the ones they want leaked to some degree.
Oh yeah, and people don't know that the machines have commissioned those golems to build more machines and turn the world into a big Borg sphere. And no one. It's impossible to see, and it's very easy to make someone look crazy when they're telling the truth. To where if you stick your neck out for some sort of a cause, I mean, you'll be sticking your neck out for nothing.
Oh, mate, that's literally my career in esports. Yeah. Like, remember, think how silly I am, by the way. I'm using my, like, fame within fucking video game commentary. And then I'm actually thinking, because here's the problem, mate. I'm thinking like a little kid, as you say. I've been trained, my subconscious has been trained by the Hollywood movie. This is what the hero does. He stands against the world and he says the thing that must be said. But you know what you quickly realise? It's like, first of all, the person I'm defending would never fucking defend me. Doesn't really give a flying fuck.
And they stab your back in the face.
Then they're also going to betray me, if not even now. They might even apologise midway through me defending them for everything that's happened and disavow me. And then I'm just the one on the hook. And then also, at the end of it, you just realise, wait a minute, why did I have to be what am I talking about? Like, why would I have to be the one who throws myself into the machine like a wrench to try and fuck the gears up? Like, what do you think is going to happen to me? Yeah, I'm just going to get torn up. Like, mate, I've done that so many times. Hey, look, I'm like you. I'm an idiot. I'm a slow learner. But I tell you what the good thing about that is, when I do learn, and when I'm forced to learn, and when I get to a position where I realise what I'm doing doesn't work, I will eventually, even if it takes me a while, fucking course correct, you know. I'll start to realise this is not benefiting me at all.
Oh no. And someone who can do that will feel a tangible clarity that you cannot describe. When you go above the sewage and finally learn, like, oh my God, I'm I was programmed, I was raped, I was victimized like everybody else. Everyone gets the treatment. That's why I try not to judge those who do the most wickedness in the world. There's no doubt in my mind they were very abused as children. That's the currency of this world. Is
even if it was suffering. Just psychologically. Like, let's be real. That's another truth. You know the famous thing, if you say to people like, try and find the things that make you happy and passionate, and then some idiot will be like, right, you mean like a serial killer, killing people? It's like, if you think that's obviously making him happy, I think you've watched too many fucking, by the way, you literally have watched all this shit on Netflix. You've been watching all the pornography of psycho killer. They're all made cool there, mate. They're edgy. There's a special, it's like a Marvel fucking villain. It's like Dr. Doom popping out like, look at Ted Bundy. Of course he's sick.
He looks like me. Looks like you look like Ted Bundy. He's handsome like this. Oh, I look like Ted Bundy. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, that guy just had a few kinks that he just had to satisfy. I guess. Yeah. Oh, it's just one of those.
I'll guarantee that guy. By the way, I've even always thought this. I've even always thought it's exactly the opposite. You know, in every movie when the serial killer kills someone, it's like they're on LSD. It's like a religious experience. I'll bet it's the opposite. I'll bet what happens is, I bet that when they kill them, it's like when the mega winner in sports wins. You know, famously they say it's the most hollow experience ever. That's why you have to win every fucking game, Michael Jordan. You have to win every championship, Kobe Bryant. You must, because you've literally sacrificed everything. Think about that word, mate. You have sacrificed everything. And what do they always say you have to sacrifice? Family time, things you enjoy. You give everything. Dude, that's the most, that mantra is demonic. And at the end of it, what does the Faustian bargain get you? Hold up this shitty little trophy that, by the way, other people will win as a fluke and they'll trip over and win it. You gave everything to win that. And then you go, well, I won it once, but I didn't feel anything. Oh, I know. When I win it the 7th time, then it'll feel, oh God, dude, even those people are just obviously on a sad track.
Oh yeah, these
I used to revere these people. I can revere their craftsmanship. That's what I can revere, mate. Their actual sort of like quest. It's like, bro, you actually took family and like having an excellent life, and you made like being excellent at basketball your life and family.
Oh, being good.
It's gross, isn't it? It's only a little kid's game.
Shittiest things in the world.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm really good. I'm really good at shit.
Exactly. That's like saying, dude, we all laugh at the guy who says he does the Rubik's Cube the fastest in the world. That's Michael Jordan.
I mean, sure, he can jump, but you know what? Larry Bird took him to school every time, man. I'm sorry.
Larry Bird was he was definitely a warrior poet to some degree.
He took him to school, man. I think Larry Bird was sort of the professor. But
I think he was mega, yeah.
I don't know anything about sports, but I just remember Larry Bird. But yeah, people they revere these heroes that are good at nothing, And then, of course, it's just like pop stars. Let's say Taylor Swift. You have clean, relatively. I mean, pop music is Satanism, but they have an image that where they're sort of good. The good
It's
girl.
supposed to be wholesome,
bad.
right?
Yeah, good girl gone bad. When there's a good girl or good guy or whatever, they have a long career and then they start getting bad, nasty. They start getting nasty, start sucking on.
Dude, here's the joke. The best analogy is Hulk Hogan, because he was literally the ultimate face, and then he did the NWO heel turn. And by the way, what an amazing name!
Yeah, NWO.
I love it because mate, that delayed that term being mean anything for like 10 years, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. Like that system is not part of the other system. It's completely separated. Yeah, but that's the witchcraft of showing someone good who inevitably goes bad. So no matter what, they'll always drag someone through the mud. Just a psychological warfare against the people that have revered them, and especially when they die in sort of interesting circumstances. And everyone's out tearing their hair and crying.
Oh, it's wild,
and acting like it's not some sort of religious thing. But I don't know if we have to get into that.
No, but it's abstractly, what I would say there is like essentially. I've always said this, like what's great, what I love about the real truth drops is I've also learned this. There's no such thing as like, this is the way he really meant. It's like there's billion layers to this. It depends what level you're on and what are you looking for and what you vibe with. So like, that famous Shakespeare quote, like, or we are all actors on the stage or whatever, you know, we all play many parts. The problem with that is the more you think about it, the deeper it goes, like we all play many parts. Like, oh, they mean like, an actor or like, you play the role of like, you're a brother. And then like, no, what if for real, essentially, we're going to be careful. They're playing parts. Like, what if for real that person who did music, person who did a certain sport, what if for real they were told, exit stage left, now get rid of that personality, you are whatever else, and then somewhere else you go. People aren't ready for that idea.
No, people. I mean, people can watch Manchurian Candidate all a million times, and they still won't understand the reality of that universe and how easy it is with money or with blackmail or with the cattle prod. You can make anybody do anything at all. And these people that are revered heroes, I mean, they're not regular people. They are sort of test tube freak engineered freaks. And no one will believe that. They're not just good at what they do. These people were, test tube freaks ever since the beginning to play their part and to play their role and to do their little Manchurian sort of shuffle with their personalities. And it's all a sort of a religious a religious rite or I don't know.
Psychodrama.
Yeah, it's a psychodrama, and people don't. They believe that the people in Hollywood or in sports are regular Joes. But there's no such thing as regular Joes to people that have superhuman performance compared to most people. It's not just if you practice for 10,000 hours, well, you too can have the Stanley Cup. Fuck you, man. It doesn't matter how good you are. The average person can be good at something, but it doesn't matter if you don't hop on the casting couch. You get nothing. You have nothing. You don't even get to play your roles. And no one could ever understand that. They don't understand true atrocity or biblical atrocity. We're still in the biblical times. We're still in captivity in Babylon. Clearly, we're still in captivity. I mean, some people say that they're this and that, their heritage, this and that. But I mean, pretty clearly, everybody on this planet are in Babylonian captivity, and there's no one single race or a single religion that has suffered that.
That's why it's a waste of time arguing amongst each other. We're all in prison. It's a bit like, I mean, this was the way they introduced it to the public to make you think it was a silly idea. It's like the Philip K. Dick idea that we're actually just in the Roman Empire and we're the tortured Christians. And the joke is everything else was just the veil of illusion put over the top of it. And like, if you could understand that you were back then and what the forces you were fighting against, you wouldn't just be going, wow, I live in a brilliant technological future where luckily they've solved all those things. And actually, if I just wait like any minute now, it's all going to be awesome because we're all equal and free. The joke is none of us are. Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
The empire never fell, and most people are in that mode, but most people again don't understand the truth behind it. The empire never existed.
Yes. I mean, it was, as you say, they could. It was always you had to consent, and essentially you had to put your will towards their ends, and that's how they dominate you, of course.
Oh yeah, they use your force against you, and the Philip K. Dick stuff is really so good and so
fantastic. Much there, isn't there? I know.
It's incredible that it's. I mean, if you like Gnosticism and all that stuff, and if you like freaking Tetragrammaton Kabbalah, I guess if you want to waste your life doing freaking rituals to some floating spaghetti monster in the sky, I mean, go ahead. But people don't know that everything is misdirection and deception, and there's no such thing as an overt force. Well, I mean, there is. They can go right into your house and set it on fire, and everyone would laugh. But they don't need to do that anymore. They just use yourself against yourself. These machines are very efficient, and all they do is make things more and more efficient until there's really in no way out at all. And people do get caught up in Rome or whatever the hell. I mean, I'm not. Look, I studied classics. I love the Greek and Roman literature. But when it comes to history, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Fuck all history. All history's fake.
I think it's all fake. Yes.
It's all
I
fake.
even think the whole purpose is the joke is, you know, when they write a movie, they're like Braveheart was based on real events. It's like, probably wasn't. And even then, you do whatever you want with the story anyway. Guess what? That's what history was doing anyway. And if you ever look into it, the joke is, this is how they always seed things that give you the truth, but you don't apply it bigger. So, you know, everyone knows who has half a brain now. Wikipedia is being captive for like almost the entire time. And it has that thing where you can just cite something that cites something that cites something that claims something that was never true in the first place. That's what history is. History is like 4 fucking guys say some bullshit 200 years ago, then they're cited like 100,000 times, and that now becomes the most well-established fact of all time. Meanwhile, you go back, because I'm a journalist, mate, so I can sort of know how to look at primary sources and check that. You go back and it all, as you say, it's built on fucking the sand, mate. As soon as the tide comes in, it's all just gone. The whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle. And as far as I can tell, the only reason ever to present it was actually because when you go back to history and learn the lessons, remember, those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. What the fuck are you? First of all, where did God say that? I forgot that in the Bible, mate. Like, you know what I mean? Like the amount of fucking quotes people live by like that. And there's one like the joke is if you go back and learn from history, you'll learn the lessons they want you to learn. You'll never make the actions in the modern day that could do something for your life.
Oh yeah. They'll rewrite the history with your movies and your TV. And even if you do learn about mountains of skulls and genocides every other day, well, that doesn't mean shit, does it? Because they have to keep happening because of the hatred and oppression. It has to keep happening. It never changes. And there's always a mountain of skulls. And now there's not a mountain of skulls of dead people. There's a mountain of lives that never got out of the gates.
Yes, this is the zombie apocalypse, mate. We're in it right now. It's not coming. We're in it now.
People throw their lives away, and they have no idea. Even studying, let's say, history or something like that, because I really love the just like Tartary and things like all that stuff. Of course, and I had no idea that there are a million super ancient artifacts all littered around the United States. I said, mental. What the fuck? And you know what that means? It means that everything in the history books is fake. And like,
remember what they do? Every conspiracy guy who's American, what is his take? We all have to go back to the founding of America, whatever they would do. You idiot. Like the joke is they made you accept the premise of all those things. They've already built. You're only going one level down.
Tell a lie.
Yeah,
tell a lie.
What you want to actually ask yourself is, what if it was all lie? Yeah, what's going on over in that place? What even was that place? Where did your people come from? Who knows these things, right? It seems like there's way more behind it. I even think again, you said it earlier, they always hide it in plain sight. Like, I'll give you an example. Oh, yeah. I remember when I was a kid, in the UK, obviously, we had loads of fucking like documentaries and BBC things where they go out and it all seems really good. Like, wow, they're doing a great job here. Historicity and archaeology. And what they would do is they would go and they would always find something like, right, look, I found this thing in like ancient Sumer that it's actually implied this could have been a battery. Now, what people do then is go, they had the idea for a battery. They never go, they had batteries. You see how different that idea would be? Because if you had that idea, you'd go, wait a minute, what? And again, without going too far into the areas, you can't talk about that. The implication's mental, but they've actually presented it so you never think of that implication.
Oh no one ever thinks to themselves when they see something like that, like, oh wait, there's unlimited energy since forever.
Yep, because notice how that collapses every single one of the psyops. I'll tell everyone a brief one right now without touching it because they'll know what I mean. You know when everyone goes, "Oh, there's something about this world that we live in that's going to kill us all if we don't change it," and so the way you battle that is you go, but the guy who says that takes a certain type of transport that also uses it. What? It's like you've just accepted their premise, you idiot. You've accepted their base premise of what is energy, how is it formed, how much of what are the results. Like they've trapped you again. You've willingly closed the door and locked it yourself.
Oh yeah. You play by those rules. You lose every time while thinking you win, and then all the while people are worried about race. People are worried about this. While we're still the assholes paying for gasoline.
Exactly.
Gasoline. We're paying for electricity. Well, you see all these structures all throughout the world with huge steeples, antennas on the top of the buildings. All different kinds of
weird. There's a bread there for sure. Yep.
Yeah. People have no idea. Like, oh, these people are so primitive. They're just shitting in the woods. When you look back at the buildings that are crumbling or completely destroyed now, and they couldn't even come close to making something that in 30, 40 years. Not even close.
This ties into something I want to talk to you about, because that alone is the proof in the fucking pudding.
Oh, it's right in your face.
This. If you were the one who was advanced, if you were the one who was enlightened, if you were the one who lived a good life with principles that made sense and you embodied them, that would reflect in your art. That would reflect in your architecture. That would reflect in the precepts of your society. Yep. So if you cannot replicate, and they will not in the modern day, I think it's like you said earlier, they cannot. These are like parasitic entities that just feed off what is good and pure and beautiful, and they degrade it. All they can do, I know everyone now's on that tip, but they're only, this is again how they drop the truth, and they let you only take it as a little sugar pill and you never get the medicine. Everyone now's quoting that great, and we had that conversation last time, they're quoting that C.S. Lewis line, like, evil can only pervert. It's like, you're meaning it about a fucking TV show, you idiot. All the TV shows are that. We're talking about they pervert everything, all the creative process, and if you look at their whole world, it is shit.
Yes. Energy itself, thoughts themselves, lives themselves, legacies, families themselves. The technology of ruin is completely under their nose, but invisible to them. They don't know anything about it. And you can thank whoever you want, but I mean, hey, look, people that are on this earth to destroy the earth are going to do what they're going to do, because that's just their role. That's their function. I can't rationalize it. I can't rationalize, a creator or a god or a fake god or a demon or Satan. I mean, I don't presuppose that I can wrap my head around those things. I just know that if I'm looking for truth, dude, I'll meditate, I'll pray, I'll be alone, I'll read some sacred text, I'll read Proverbs, I'll read something that has a lasting power that can actually upgrade you seriously. But no one knows those tools to reach for. They'll reach for, I mean, they make life very hard, so people usually reach for relief, like drugs or whatever the hell.
Yeah, something to soothe. I don't blame it. Yeah. Well, I would even say
life is made so bad.
Even something I also find is, like, I don't even think truth is something you search for in the way that they mean. Like, because that does imply that you're going to join this lineage, you're going to read this book, you're going to, you better get in a fucking ice bath now, give me 20 motherfuckers, it's all that shit, isn't it? It's like everything sounds like it sucks. Like, it's like you're saying, what I find truth and wisdom come to me when I stop fucking grasping for it, when I actually just chill back, when I meditate, when I actually will say it, when I let the idea come to me, when I let it work itself out, I don't try to push it and pull it and dissect it and pin it down and fucking start cutting it open and I'm not doing any of that. I'm not following someone else's. It's genuinely like I switch a frequency on the radio of my brain. I tune into something else. I'm like, shit, this was there the whole time. I could have been viewing everything like this the whole time.
It's right in your face, and I like to do that. I like to have some sort of a basic truth that is not worth parroting because it'll mean nothing to most people who aren't really sort of thinking those ways. But I like to pile even more abstractions on top of it.
Yes.
To make it intraversible by normality. Like if you approach this in a normal fashion, it will sound like madness. And
by the way, I think every real secret seems to intentionally have that. Like you will notice that's also the structure of every secret society. They have like the esoteric aspects, but then there's the exoteric orders, then there's the other ones, then there's the one where it's like, right, I'm in the real inner one now. It's like, well, it's like friend groups on fucking WhatsApp, you idiot. There's going to be another one where they don't have you in it, and they're going, don't tell him about what we're doing on Friday. Like, yeah, but it's Matryoshka, isn't it? It's endless nested dolls. Like, that's also kind of like how truths are. It should be like that, by the way, because as I said earlier, like, basically to me, it would actually be mad irresponsible if anyone could just go, I think I'll just unlock the secrets of the universe today. It's like, that would destroy you, you fool. Like, you're not ready for that. No one is. You have to work your way up to these things.
Yeah, very few people are ready to approach the tabernacle or the ark or whatever you want to call it, approach God, because if you're unclean or filthy or degraded, then you don't deserve any truth. You don't deserve truth if you're defiled.
You could even say, you would take truth and spirit itself if you were allowed to just come in with your muddy shoes on, right?
Oh yeah. You would be possessed by the mud. The mud would be you. The mud would be the only thing God sees is your mud. And that's a truth that people don't get. You have to purify yourself before your mind is even open enough to realize the basics that are real. And I mean, you could get down to the basics. You could use platitudes. You could use whatever. You could say love. You could say gratitude. You could say whatever. But if you focus on those things instead of, am I going to die of cancer? Are they going to have nanobots before I die? If you focus on the healthy things and the good things that you suppose that would be life affirming, then those things will push you towards a better life and a deeper understanding of the things that you can do to make your family and friends and your own life better. And hey, if it goes into the world, then so be it. But people really aren't ready for that. They want a definition. They want to be hit over the head with an encyclopedia. Okay, this is what happened. This was erased. Well, you see, the energy is this and that. But people don't get if you're defiled, which this world defiles you in ways that you can't imagine. You watch a movie, you watch a snuff film. You're defiled.
Of course. Oh, mate, this is another topic.
It defiles you.
Yeah, let's get into this.
It's disgusting. Yeah.
Because there's another thing I've had an issue with. Another genius of like media is like just a movie. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, think about this. You know this famous trend they say now that women are fucking mega into, single women are really into serial killer things. It's like what that implies about what you're doing to your like psychic landscape and your relationships with men is fucking mental. I know, like, you're not coming out of that just going, I'm just sort of a dilettante of the mind. That's just a fun idea I temporarily create. No, as we're saying about here, your mind is the theory of your reality. Like what you did there is you played out a psychodrama where you're the person killing the people. Like you're the one reveling in it. You're hoping he doesn't get caught, or maybe you're hoping he does get caught because actually isn't the guy who's investigating him kind of like a serial killer too? Oh, we're all serial killers. We're like, fucking hell, like what sort of religion are you being indoctrinated into?
Yeah, that's pure Satanism.
It
is forcing people without their knowledge to put themselves in the shoes of those who would do atrocity for the sake of it. No one has any idea how much it defiles someone. And I've done some crazy acting. I've made some crazy films. I'm an American. I grew up with this stuff. There's nothing I love more than putting on Straw Dogs or cruising or something like that. But it makes me laugh, and it brings me to a place of mockery of sexual violence, mockery of watching a snuff film in color with blood and terror. I mean, I can handle it. I'm not going to say it doesn't still defile me. I'm not going to say that. I'm not above being defiled. No chance. Not at all. See, that's what kind of makes me, I don't know what to call it, less of a moron. I guess I'd just say that I don't want to call myself wise because only a moron would call himself that. Yeah. But I appreciate those things, but I know that cinema and moving pictures is a technology of light, which is a technology of Satan and Lucifer. And I know that it is a technology of control, a technology of crime. And it puts people's in the shoes. There's a word for it, I guess, but empathy, weaponized empathy, or weaponized whatever the hell.
Yeah.
If people, because in a movie, they know, the structure. If you know filmmaking and you know that sort of dark art, you know how to make people empathize with the worst trash in history. It'd be very
Dude, they do it in all the social settings too. Like, think about this. There's a famous scenario, again, I know how to talk around these things, but you'll know what I mean. So back in the day, when maybe social norms were a certain way against certain demographics, when they would show the news story, they would use the villain archetype. They would say, like, this person was a hooligan and a ruffian and uneducated and they were a thug and a violent, and that would make you think, without even looking at the case, guilty. Now in the modern day, this is what all the people complain about, if you think about it, right? But they don't realise it's the same technology. Now the joke is because of movies, where you've seen so many movies where unfairly a guy got sent to prison. This guy didn't do it. He was railroaded by the cops. Now what they show you when it is a violent person who did a horrendous crime is it's his prom photo, and it's people saying, I really loved to fucking do this and be around his friends and that, and just a bunch of nonsense. And at the end, you start going, "Fuck! It must all be. It's evil societal norms the other way." And then you're just right back into whatever they wanted you to think.
Oh yeah, you're right back in, because the system is their system. The technology is their technology, and it's being used against you. And no one could ever understand that. I mean, you could. Well, of course, you're going to say the same. You need to say the same thing about pop music. There's a reason why they call it rock and roll. Everything is a euphemism for sex. So therefore, music and sex is a religious right. Those are pure religion. When you get into music and sex and dance, it's pure technology, pure subversion. And so you could say the same thing about pop music. I mean, I've enjoyed pop music. I mean, hey, I'm not going to lie, I'm not above it. But it's just people will never understand. I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about books. But a book isn't moving light. It doesn't go into your subconscious without you knowing it. You actually have to read the words. Yeah, and who knows what's in the pop music? The sounds, where they get them from. They get them from slaughterhouses, get them from murder sites. Who knows? They get them from the Charles Manson house. Yes. They get sounds. You're listening to snuff. You don't even know it. You know, who knows how that defiles you? Who knows what it does to your heart? Who knows? Who knows what it does to your energy? Who knows what it does to your aura? I mean, you could say whatever. Who knows what demons it attracts into your life? Who the hell knows? You could say the same thing about anything, I guess, but these things are very, very specifically technologies of subversion, and people hate hearing that. I like to say,
because you're taking away their comforts, as you say. You take what you're saying to the guy is like, right, essentially, now when we chop your foot off, you can't bite down on this bullet. The bullet's bad for you too. You're like, bloody hell! But what you don't realise, mate, is you don't have to have your leg chopped off or bite down on a bullet.
No, you can.
That's the analogy.
You can check out, and you can. I mean, you can do.
You can check out even while you're in the system to some degree. I mean, maybe me and you have lived a privileged life where we're able to do more things than others. But I even think to myself, here's the real hero. I'll give you another analogy. One of my favourite movies. Again, we're all caught in the mire right now, guys. We haven't
all
escaped yet.
Here.
Exactly. Yeah. We're all still like, listen. Essentially, even if I've done a little bit more than you, I'm quarter of the way through the shit pipe at Shawshank Redemption getting out. So in one of my movies, I love the one Gattaca, the sci-fi one. If you're about to go in space,
classic.
What I always think,
in the wheelchair.
It's a brilliant movie, yeah. But one of the best scenes in it, I always think this is true rebellion, right? It's when, spoiler, towards the end, the only reason he gets away with getting on the plane, because he's fucked it up at the end and actually his genetic test's going to fail, he's not going to come through, is that doctor guy. And the story is that the doctor obviously himself has a child who was born, off the record in that way, and they think that his son will make it. Because he has this secret sympathy this guy can't know about. The doctor, who, by the way, is absolutely a mechanized element of the industrial complex, he's doing all the things that they want him to do. He's a gatekeeper, and he's doing that every time. He, in that one moment, essentially, who isn't a hero, he's not some like super guy who's relevant in the movie, he's a very side character. He essentially sort of accesses his humanity for a moment and just lets you pass. He essentially says, right, the hand at the control, which isn't the control structure, will destroy you. The hero would be the guy who, in the right moment, this is why you don't have to research this stuff. You have to just be a real person, because a real person in the right moment will get that vibe of like, I don't know why, but the right thing actually now would be not to do that, would be to let this guy through. And in that one case, that's almost what I feel like a normal person. If you're within the system, that's how I think you make it.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie in 30 years.
Basically, when this guy's like data flashes up and it's the wrong one, it's like the Jude Law character. It shows it's not actually the Ethan Hawke person, because this guy who's the doctor who's checking the data to let you board the spacecraft, because his son is also born like off the record and didn't have all the like fucking special genetic treatment. He has a secret sympathy. So what he does is even though it flashes up the wrong name, he quickly presses a button that corrects it to what like the like fake identity was, and then he just tells him some comment like like enjoy your flight or something, and he's like, I hope my son could be like you one day. It's like that's what like the little people can do. That's what, you don't have to be some grand hero.
No, yeah, you can let people pass without
Yes.
punishing them. You have the power to not punish people, but that power. I mean, the power to punish is infiltrated in
It's
every
hard to
aspect of my
resist, isn't
life.
it?
Yeah, that's just the way they. I mean, you could look at. Well, I mean, you can look at everything. See, people think they're going to be saved by the military in some ways, but if you see who's in the military now, you know that you'll be filled with bullets by the
Oh,
end of the
no.
year.
You haven't thought
If it
that
really hit
through.
the
Yeah.
fan, yeah, people have.
They've
no
already
idea.
got their
Oh,
Praetorian Guard. Think it through, guys.
oh,
They're not
yeah.
idiots. They set up the pieces before they need to make the chess move.
Oh yeah, and people don't know that they really have the power to let things pass and to not really stay in a mire of nowhere. And
Yes.
it's a power that is really going extinct. And the internet always forgets. The
Yep.
meme war was lost.
Yep.
The meme war was lost. The internet always forgets. The internet is a weapon to be used against you. And people always say, "Well, oh, yet here we are. We're on the internet too." I mean, hey, hey, look, I'm having fun.
Give me some time.
We're having fun.
Yeah.
My first priority isn't. Of course, it was my first priority. Getting online was sort of to
Sure.
give myself some therapy to make sure I didn't go off the rails. So that was the first thing. But so the first priority was fun.
Yes.
I like to make things fun. This world is shit. I like to laugh at it. I like to make it
That
fun.
could be an antidote, right? I mean, that's what you've done with your career to some degree, right?
Mirth is king. And I mean, there are some societies that have that credo also that aren't exactly as gentle. But still, I like that credo because mirth is king. And real mirth is laughing at those who would oppress you invincibly. And, they can take everything they want from you, but they can't make you destroy your soul without your permission.
And as you say, they can't stop you having a sense of mirth about it, no matter what's happening. I always found this because that actually used to be my coping mechanism. Things would get fucked up. Right? I could rant about it, or could flip the switch to comedy, and I could make a fucked up joke about it. I could make it like, actually, it's so stupid that it's like this, and we all do it, isn't it? And in doing so, it lightens it instantly, and it's not in the same way down. But you'll notice, this is something I want to lead into, but obviously I'll be very careful. You can say how you want to say it, but basically, that's why I do think. First of all, forget every comedian that's on a special or on TV. Yeah, they're obviously all captured. That goes without saying. And by the way, they sold
Dave,
like the old Tool song said. Yeah, they sold out 1 billion years ago, mate. Long before they got to you. If anything, now I think they just compete to be the one that's allowed to say something slightly more than the others temporarily. Yeah. But if you notice, they all apologise and they all go back in and they all work with a charity. They all do all that shite. They're obviously all in that case fully compromised. But the reason why I understand
humiliation rituals.
You know that famous saying where it's like the Lenin quote, which is like, if there's going to be an opposition, we must control it. Yeah, that's also comedy. The joke is, if comedy is so powerful, it's one of the most powerful combative forces to the uncreative, undead, that they must control it. They must harness it. They must even take, like you say, maybe someone who had the makings of a great comedian, and he either must be compromised, or he must be, let's say, replaced with a simulacrum. There must be something that seems like it's him, but it's going a different route. Because one of the things I've noticed, everyone knows that classic line, like, it's only the just is allowed to say to the king what he's really thinking. But there is an element of truth to that. And the problem is, the joke is, you actually will be public enemy number one if you're too good at comedy.
Oh, yes, you will be. You will be. You'll be thrown out. You'll be destroyed. You will be turned into some sort of a monster. And there's no way around it. But everyone in the mainstream, they were dirty from day one. I mean, it is what it is. It just is what it is. It's another good girl gone bad thing. You have a comedian that everyone loves, and it turns out he was beating off in front of someone or something like that. Whatever the hell the humiliation.
They can pick anything at this point. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can pick anything, and there's always going to be something. But comedy is forbidden and is annihilated more so than any time in history that it's not like I've been around for thousands of years.
No, sure.
We don't have those memories anymore.
Yeah.
But people don't understand that the comedy is the only cure for anything at all. And I like to point things and laugh, but I don't do it in a military sense. I don't do it to subvert the subverters, because I just don't do that. I'm just trying to have fun, and I'm trying to blow my own mind with the most ridiculous comedy I could possibly even think of. And if that blows other people's minds, then good. If not, then hey, if they forget about you after shit hits the fan for some reason, then fuck them. I'm not going to stop doing what I do. I'm going to keep laughing at everything. I'm not going to be worrying about they or them. because if you don't know the truth behind that sort of thing by now, then you're screwed. So okay, in other words, I don't use fire. I don't use fire. Comedy is not about
it's not fighting fire with fire. Yes.
No, it's I mean, I guess you could say water if you want to get elemental.
Yeah.
But you could or whatever the hell, Captain Planet. But it's not a military thing. It's just fun, and it's mirth, and it's the only way to deal with atrocity is to laugh at it. That's why I sort of started enjoying pretty hardcore jokes online that people don't really understand, and of course it makes me look like a fool and an insane man. But
sure.
Hey, what do I give a shit about that? If something is so insane and demonic, it deserves to be laughed at. It's just the only way to deal with it is to really take it to the next level and not put yourself in those shoes, but I kind of do put myself in the shoes of the joke by saying just. I don't even know how to explain it, because maybe it's not the best habit to explain your own comedy.
Oh, it's all right. One thing I would say this ties into, though, is, I mean, remember we started with the idea of the never-ending rabbit holes that you're digging in. Mm-hmm. Another thing, even when you're saying, like, even when you feel like you are the righteous guy, that you are, let's be real, every comedian, it's like, you are fucking Lenny Bruce, you are Bill Hick. By the way, these are all cursed as fuck names. Don't ever look into them, guys. Yes. None of these people will hold up, I'm telling you right now.
Man, you don't hear Lenny Bruce enough.
I know, exactly. When you go into this angle and you think you are, because remember, that's why I tell you, they give you that history. They're giving you an archetype. Follow the script. As long as you follow one of our scripts, you're going to be okay. We'll reward you with what that person gets. And the status you get there is you get a whole load of people who on some level sense something's wrong. They get the feeling you're battling something. That's why they'll tell you you're crusader, you're righteous, you're the one calling them out. But what you realise, and this is why I brought it back to the beginning, it's something I've noticed is very much on your mind, it seems. At the end of the day, you do step back and you go, wait a minute. So I'm the hero and I just won a war. But to do it, I'm down in the dirt with them. I'm covered in mud now. My life's shit. I'm feeling that sad. I'm even sometimes, I've done this myself when people fuck with me and I righteously, correctly, I didn't do anything wrong and I use all the methods correctly to take them down factually. I've become what they are. I'm the person tearing someone else's life down. I am someone crushing someone else's spirit and showing them that you'll never stand against me. Don't ever fuck with me. Like, there's something dark about that, man. I don't want to be that guy. I don't care how many battles I win. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to transform into the comedian that turns into the perpetual celebrity chaser, just looking to make money, looking to become famous, looking to become a bigger name, looking to become more influential with the youth. You can spin it however you want, but if you become a chaser like that, everything you've done is I don't want to say delegitimized, but it's defiled. It's defiled in a way. If your intentions are the same as just the run-of-the-mill nerd, then you have nothing at the end of the day. All you have is a pseudo-celebrity that it might make people cheer for you. It might make you rich. But at the end of the day, you're sleeping with one eye open, sleeping with a gun in your mouth, sleeping at the brothel. Sleeping at the methadone clinic. However you want to spin it, that always catches up to you. If you don't get yourself good to begin with, then a rotten tree or a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. I'm sure it's a better way to say it. I'll have to look it up.
That analogy, listen, your barrel's full of loads of great apples, but you chuck that bad one in and let it stay there, they'll all go bad. Yeah, it's natural.
Oh, they all go bad.
Oh, let's do this then. So one thing I would also say is it's too easy to just get in this mode, isn't it, where we're outlining it all and we're putting it together and we're saying about it. But at the end of the day, if you were someone listening, you'd be like, how do I get good? So here's one thing I want to switch to. Let's talk a little bit about that, because obviously this is some of the things that we're not putting online, but it's not particularly wanted by a lot of people. I mean, it really is as simple for me as things like, I'm looking for things that are beautiful, not beautiful in a technical sense or what art norms tell me, things that I can just look at, like you said, about certain architecture, certain ideas. Mm-hmm. And dude, I just feel something inside me. Like the joke is, I'll give you an example. I would come from like a background in the West, like some sort of a religious Christian Christian background. But obviously, because Eastern European Orthodox Christianity split off all those years ago, supposedly, and it's totally different. Like, I used to actually be a bit weirded out by all those like icons and stuff. Dude, when I see them now, I get this crazy feeling inside. Like, something about this now there is something pure about that. There's I don't even have to believe in Christianity. There's something about that where I know that was a soul expressing itself. Yeah, that was someone trying to uplift me. He was trying to give me food for the spirit. And I don't even need to know what it is. I can just look at it doing it has that effect. So essentially, like I said earlier, for me, all my ideas and philosophies are inputs to my system. If the output is shit, I'm going to change those inputs. I don't care how good that idea is. I don't care how brilliant that writer is. Spoiler, some of my favourite authors and creators, I now realise, are the darkest sorcerers that ever lived, mate. So I'm trying to find that beauty. And when I find it, I don't even have to cross-examine it. I'm going to know instantly.
Yeah, you're going to know it instantly that someone has created this with a positive spiritual intent and to uplift people, to make their lives better, less torturous, and to get their minds off things that they cannot change.
Yes.
No matter what you do. And that's good, because I understand exactly those feelings, that iconography is anti-God or whatever the hell, you can say however you want. But when I put on something like The Island, the movie, it was a sort of an orthodox movie. It was on YouTube. Yeah. I watched it a few years ago. It was mind-blowing for me and for everyone. We were watching it together on Twitch, where our minds were blown, and it was wonderful. And I said, oh my God, I said, there are no enemies. People that try to uplift your life are not your enemies. And it doesn't matter what book they read. It doesn't matter what name their God has. I'm not so sure that God is going to cry in your face if you use the wrong name when you're at the gates. He starts crying. He said, "You got my name wrong." That's just crap.
That's some human shit, isn't it? I know, that's just some petty human shit.
Oh, yeah. He thinks like us. Well, he's a god. He thinks like the dirtiest, rotten pigs in the world. Just you're gonna get it right, or you're gonna go to hell. I mean, oh my God, Jesus! But I really had a deeper appreciation for those things, and iconography and ritual, and setting yourself apart from the wickedness. And it's really just good, and those are the things that I search for and that I put on, and they
seems
can
like you've even found
change lives.
You've even found like very everyday things. Like the funny thing is, it reminds me obviously of what people talk about, like the Zen world or whatever. Like, the premise, if people don't understand why they have those like ridiculously intricate tea ceremonies, is because it's a kind of meditation. You're only thinking about correctly like steeping the tea, pouring the tea, beautifully thinking about the effect of the sip and what it does. Like I've noticed for you, that's cigars, right? So to someone else, what's funny is the reason I love this dude is because that is the literal symbol of the evil industrialist robber baron banker con in the darkened room with the fucking real get this cunt out there, get them all out there, buy, sell. But you've taken that symbol and that's become almost your sort of like meditative fucking ritual, right?
Oh yeah, it's been excellent. It's been a bit since I've done that, but I'm about to get back into business. But I really find the ritual and the stimulation of tobacco and of those things, and of having something in my mouth. It's a really special thing, and it really does sort of kind of get your mind in a different place. And it's not really to be looked down upon as just the robber baron thing. And I mean, you can argue about health and all that, but I mean,
even that seems a bit wonky, mate. Like, as far as I can tell, again, remember, if something's common sense, well, now the common sense is, it just kills you and instantly gives you all the cancers. Spoiler, like, it's weird how those all seem to all come from, like, artificial things, though, not natural.
It's weird.
And then it's weird. What they're all, because as far as I can tell, the geniuses, they're like, right, see this one thing we gave you, now it's bad. Well, okay, but you didn't just give me it purely. You gave me, like, loads of stuff. And I didn't, shut up. It's just because I gave you it. The whole thing's bad now.
Yes,
so it's like, wait a minute. So it was all good, by the way, when you were taking the stuff we added in for you. But when you actually might stop entirely, it's all bad. Because I've heard similar things, mate. I haven't looked at that one specifically, but some of the people I know in my circles say, like, that's one of those ones where it's definitely it's not as simple as it seems as to whether it's good or bad as an application,
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can say this is bad or this is bad, or you can smoke this and that, but I mean, I don't have the equipment to test the air. I don't have the equipment to test the food. I don't have the equipment to test the water. Well, I think those things have been a little bit altered in our lifetime. And I mean,
think how genius that is, dude. But the reason why you don't need to think about that is because a guy in a hermetically sealed lab took one variable and he tested it. He said it's okay, it's all fine for you. But as you said, he didn't test the air, where you live, what's going on, your age, what you do.
He didn't test how much electricity is around.
Everything in life, as far as I can tell, is not just like don't do single factor analysis. If possible, use every factor, and that's going to sound like that's madness. No, that's actually what wisdom is. Like the idea is you have to be able to enter the world where every factor can be considered at once as to having an outcome or something.
Yeah, and people are never able to accept that alternate idea. People will say whatever is banned or is heavily taxed is bad for you, and they're doing it for your safety. But I mean, I'll tell you, cigars freaking put a smile on my face, man, and they've led me to some fun places online. Which are, I mean, you can always get anywhere you want without anything. But I mean, hey, I could be dead tomorrow. I'm gonna have a cigar, and they might tell me that this is bad and that's bad. But I mean, what about all the Roundup and all the water and all the crops? So I guess that's just nothing. Well, that they have too many lawyers. There's nothing you can do about that. Stop smoking. Stop drinking. People have been drinking and smoking for what? 40,000 years, 50, 100,000, a million years. Who knows?
It's one of the most battle-tested things. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. And it's the same. And you can point it to anything at all. Even sugar. You have too much sugar, your teeth are going to rot out. Oh, is that right? Oh, your genetics are shit. That's why your teeth are falling out.
Oh, of course.
Oh, maybe there's other factors. Maybe the teeth. The teeth in the mouth is a degradation, is a product of the failure of the immune system by consistent, systematic annihilation, invisible total war throughout your whole life that starts in utero.
I'll give you a good one, mate. You know that famous line? Everyone's heard the line. If when you start to go against these things, everyone will tell you sugar feeds cancers. Right? My first thought then that they wouldn't think. I'd like to think of alternative thoughts. Why have I got cancers inside me that's feeding? Like, if I didn't have those cancers, you mean it wouldn't be a problem? It was feeding. It would be feeding anything, would it? It would just be feeding me.
Yeah. The fruit. You have too much fruit.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna die. And I've been around the block. I'm like, sugar causes inflammation, and
we've all been there. Yeah, exactly.
We've all been there. But what's in the air? What's in the food?
Yep.
What's in the water? What's on TV? Maybe that has.
And what's your spiritual state? Like you said earlier, who are you? Are you worrying about this stuff? Are you obsessing about it? Are you literally looking at pictures of lungs turning into cat? Like, mate, these are the things that are going to also shape what happens to you.
Yeah, they're going to alter your cells.
Yes,
they're going to alter your cells. But people don't know that. People don't like it, but prayer and focusing on healing and love and gratitude. I mean, I know it sounds hokey, but I'll bet anything there is that is a benefit more than watching the movies where, this guy's dying slowly of AIDS. He's dying slowly. Yep. He smoked too many cigarettes. It's absolutely crazy. But no one is going to believe this. And if you're a doctor talking about this stuff, you are a dead man.
I will say though,
your whole family.
Let's be real though. Dead. That's like the case of when people think that, like, but we'll again, I won't say the name. Will a certain type of custodian that is supposed to protect and serve us. Well, what if they were just good guys and fought against it? It's too late. As soon as they join up, mate, it's over. Like, if they join that, they've said, I am a stormtrooper. Like, I'm sorry, this is a bad analogy because there was a shit movie, obviously, recently where they tried to make this. There is no stormtrooper who can turn against them and battle them as a stormtrooper. Like, biologically, you can't. I always have this analogy I give, mate, for what the internet is, which is when people go on the internet, it's like going to a mafia-run bar that you know is run by the mafia. You go there because it's a great bar. Loads of cool people are there. You're having a few drinks with people. You start having convos. One guy says something a bit edgy, a joke. You say something. Eventually, someone goes, you make a joke, but you stupidly reference because you think, hey, it's a free, we can say what we want in here. You just reference the mafia being a bit bad. And someone goes, ooh, oh, you've done it now. And they go, what do you mean? And they go, someone comes over, the guy who runs the bar goes, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, please, sir. You're upsetting the clientele. And you go, what do you mean? Like, you mean I can't just say what I want? Everyone, this place is run by the mafia. It's the mafia. The mafia are going to kill me. It's like, yeah, no shit. You knew that when you walked in. And now when they're going to kill you, you actually set it up for them to kill you, mate. You helped them. You filtered yourself out in that one. Like, it was never going to be transformed by you deciding that wasn't reality or even just screaming like a fucking forced helplessness child. Like, oh, please help, they're doing it. Like, that goes nowhere. That's what the internet is for me.
Yeah. It's just an echo
and
chamber.
censorship and all that shit, you know.
Yeah, it's just a way to systematically remove the good ideas or demonize the good ideas and put heavy weight onto ideas that aren't tenable to carry for the normal
Yes.
person who isn't adept at I don't know, rhetoric or whatever you want to call it. No one will ever understand it, and it's a deep thing because the internet is everything. The Internet of Things, the great Satan, whatever you want to call it. These things are, you cannot stop them. I mean, I don't see anybody bombing the 5G towers. Do you? And I'm not even saying they're bad. I have no idea. I'm just saying there's no such thing as
It's not even
as that sort
conceived of. Yeah,
righteous.
exactly.
There's no righteous terrorism heading your way. I'll tell you that.
No, people are
such
still
thing.
trying to vote for stuff and fucking, you know, find the right document. It's like, bloody hell, guys, but you're still stuck in the Dick Tracy novel.
Yep. A flat top.
You know what I mean?
Flat
Like,
tops.
that doesn't work. I know exactly. Like, the real joke is, like, if anything, the actual message of all those movies, which imply there's a way out or whatever, is like, even when you're in the system, you have to transcend it. You can't just fight it. Like, you don't really beat the Matrix by getting guns in the Matrix and shooting the agents. Like, you're still in the Matrix, you know?
Yeah, you're still in the Matrix, and apparently, even when you get out of the Matrix, you're still in the Matrix.
I know, I love that. By the way, if people can't see, by the way, you're right. When I always say this, and people get really upset by the way the conspiracy world dude. I always give props to some of the people who do this evil shit, because even though on the ultimate spiritual level they're morons and obviously their shit and their lives are crap, their actual sort of execution's so smart though. They're such good chess players. Because I'll give you an example. They'll do something like that. They'll make a movie that's like, and there's a way out, and then the next movie's you're like, fuck, I can't wait to see what happens next. And they're like, oh, you want more, dickhead? Well, if you didn't take the message, then fuck it, you can come back into the Matrix. So you know what? It was another Matrix. It's Matrixes all the way down. And it's like, you wanted that. You wanted more story. There was none. The message was exit now. If you want to exit, you can. But instead, you were like, I want more. So they were like, well, I'll give you another Matrix then. There you go. Down you go. Back into the next level, and you'll never escape now.
Yeah, the old classic Hollywood Satanism, right in your face by the grand Satanists themselves, all the directors that make the biggest movies,
Absolutely,
and all their light manipulation, and all of the good girl gone bad, or whatever you want to call it, good Matrix gone bad, another layer,
there we go. The good Matrix gone bad. I like that.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's just, and they just torture you. They torture you with their ideas. And you know, people somehow take it seriously using movies. Well, I mean, look, we know movies, use movies as a reference. It's not that it's bad, but you really can't get anywhere by basing your experience, your life experience, or your milestones by watching a goddamn movie. And we've all been there. We all have memories associated with movies and with music. You know, I mean, we're just like the rest. We're not any different than anybody else. But it's just what you do with the knowledge of how you can be changed, or how your energy can be altered. I mean, that's the power, the only power that you have. And if this is a Matrix, I mean, then so be it. So, but what am I going to cry when I start crying about it? I mean,
it's like I said about the Dark City one. Here's the thing, mate. Even if it's a Matrix, it could be a fucking brilliant Matrix in some ways once you start avoiding this shit, right?
Yeah, for real.
It's pretty sick. Yeah. It's pretty good.
You can make it. You can alter your material on your own if you're strong enough. If your will is strong enough. But everyone's will has been broken, and no one knows they have any power of anything in the reality. They're like, oh, well, you see, well, these people, the military, the governments, I mean, you can't change them. And I'm not saying you cannot change the governments, but you can only change how you perceive these things and how you process them and how you sort of get your ideas out there once they've been processed. And it's the only power. It's the only power you have is to not spread your disease. And people are just obsessed with spreading their own disease because there's that. It's an attractive thing to be the revelator, to expose revelation, to bring about revelation. People love to do it.
Super tempting, right?
Yeah, and no one knows that. Just even if you have that proclivity of really wanting to be the guru, I mean, right then and there, everything you say will be perverted and defiled without you even knowing it. You think you'll be doing God's work by, you're going to call out this and them. They control the media. They control the government. They control the banks. Oh, shit. You know, boo-hoo. Fuck you. That's what I say to the systems. You can only laugh. You can only laugh. And people that put out the ideas that make you sweat, dude, those are not people you want in your life because nothing changes. nothing in this world changes. It only gets crazier and crazier. And I don't know what's next. I mean, I do know what's next, and I wouldn't dare talk about it. But
No.
it's just the way it is. Horrors, man-made horrors beyond your
Yes.
imagination, have always been around since day one. And now all the horrors that are getting normalized. I mean, all the freaks are going to be coming out of the closet with their atrocities, and they'll be normalized as
they'll be
as normal
praised.
things.
The joke is like
they'll be heroes.
It'll be that you're the degenerate because you don't praise it. I mean, you're already seeing this now. People can know what I'm alluding to, but it's going to get worse. It's going to get much, much worse in the future because they've shown that they've unmoored everyone from any concept of like spiritual principles, anything built in themselves. Like that's why what I always say to people is, this is why you don't need to go down all the conspiracy rabbit holes. Basically, what you find is essentially the ideas and philosophies you embody and that you actually think have a meaningful impact on your life, they just work like a compass. It doesn't mean I'm outside, I'm lost in the fog like everyone, but the difference is they're just walking around blindly, or even worse, they think there is no fog and they're in the paradise. I've got the compass at least though. I'm going to keep following that compass, and as dark as it gets, I can just keep going, right? This is my due north, as it were. I'm going to keep going that direction.
Yes. Yeah, you have to go in the direction that you know it will turn out funny and good and not bring anyone to a bad place. And that's the only power you have if you have an audience of people that are interested in listening to what you have to say. First, you can do no harm to those people, and you have the only thing you have is integrity. And if you shirk that responsibility or you throw it in the trash, then everything you've ever done is just trash. And of course, anyone can be defamed easily. Your character can be very easily assassinated, even if you're innocent. So even then, I live with the knowledge that any moment I can be annihilated, destroyed, and erased, and everyone will laugh and piss on my grave. Everyone in the world will laugh. They say, I know he was crazy, got what he was, blah blah. So you try to be a hero, they'll turn you into freaking Pee Wee Herman beaten off at a porno theater after doing a kid's show. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll turn you into anything. So I know that I'm not so grand where I believe I'm untouchable. I mean, I've raved about rhetoric that can't be attacked, blah, 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 blah. We all like to have fun. But I mean, it doesn't matter who you are or what you say. With the power of technology behind it, they can destroy anything you say.
By the way, I want to ask
every day is a blessing.
Because obviously you are someone who's carefully navigating this world. I have a similar sense in that regard. So what I want to ask you is this. One thing I've learned to stop doing as well is, why the fuck would I openly challenge the devil to fuck me using all of his systems and things? Why would I tell him, like, I'm openly battling you, devil, and you can't beat me because I'm righteous and I've got... Mate, that is when he just goes, right, you know what, actually, that guy's begging for all the fucking crosshairs to be on him. Send all the agents. Turn everyone against him. Fuck it, just make shit up about him. Put it out there, put the botnets out there, send the demons, send all... But, like, why would I do that? Why would in that scenario, in a mad sense, I almost want to do what I said earlier and be like, I want to transcend it. I even want to turn to sort of the person who's peddling the filth and go, look, I don't even totally blame you. Like, you will pay your own consequences for what you are doing to yourself and others. Like, I even sort of see, like, some of the things you do have almost like there is an intelligence to it, whether I agree to it or not. Like, you're fair enough, well played. You attempted to beat me. You didn't, but look, I just don't want to play anymore, mate. I don't want to keep battling you. I don't want to beat you. I don't want to destroy you. You will essentially, if everyone did what I'm doing, I genuinely think you just wouldn't matter anymore. You would just be some side cunt.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be like the really old school pervert guy who can sell like the really creepy thing, but it's like some one guy, hey kid, you got to say. But the difference is now he's Walmart, if you know what I mean. Like, he's everywhere now. He's selling his filth from the top to the bottom. I want him to just be pushed to the outskirts again, and if he can trick the odd person, then so be it. The fucking predators pick off the weak. That's how it works at the moment. The joke is we're all the cattle going in mass, all of us, the strong ones and we're all going in the slaughterhouse.
Oh yeah, and people will get wrapped up into, you can't win if you don't play. But I'll tell you, I mean, that might be true for gambling. But when it comes to the machine, when it comes to the dead machine or whatever you want to call it, you can't lose.
It's the opposite mantra. Yes.
Yeah, you can't lose.
Yes.
If you don't play, I think I have that.
You can't lose your soul.
Yeah, you can't. If you don't play, you can't lose. And that's people will find it defeatist or whatever you want to say. But if you play the game, you're subject to bad rules and cheating and treachery. So, I mean, if you check out, then you might have a chance of actually getting a smile on your face that wasn't put there by a goddamn bong or something like that. And hey, have a bong all you want, but it's just a real smile, the smile that touches your eyes. if you're playing the game, then you're just a rat. You're in a rat race.
What was that saying? I think I even referenced it last time. Isn't there a saying like, the worst sound the devil can hear is a child's laughter? There's a compass in life, right? That's a compass right there, mate.
Oh yeah, and I've learned that firsthand. I'm like, oh man, I'm lazy. I'm a freaking asshole. I was like, I'm gonna hate this so much. And then I have all this work ahead of me and all this all the babies and all that, and I'm laughing. I'm laughing more than I ever have in my life, and I cannot believe how fun it is and how insane it or how sane it makes you to hear children and babies laugh and have fun and be satisfied and be comfortable. It's something that really changes you, and that's what's been taken away from people, because by the time they realize it, well, looks like you're completely sterilized now, asshole. Good luck now. Yeah, and that's a real thing. That the joy of the innocent, and the joy of the innocent is really grating to those who have no soul, because all they do is spread their disease. And people don't understand that. They see so many movies where the babies are crying, they're gonna wake you up, you're gonna be dead, you're gonna ruin your marriage, all that stuff. It's the exact opposite when you get into it, because it puts you in the right place. And people don't understand real joy. They think real joy is people love what you do and they're clapping.
It's commodified, right?
Oh my God. Well, your value is completely linked by how much money people are willing to pay you. That is the definition of your value. That's the definition of your value from a fucking loser who's been abused, who doesn't understand value, only understands price. People understand the price of things and never value. I know Oscar Wilde said it better than I did, but it really is. People know the price of everything, but the value of nothing, and that really is what it's all about. They don't know. They only know the price of babies. They do not know the value of it, and they don't know what it brings you. Money is an accumulation.
That's
of
a great
money.
way to say it.
Make you happy.
Thought of that. Yeah, the idea of knowing the price of everything but the value of nothing, but applied to like human relationships. That's another psyop they've done on everything. They may even make you value your relationships like that. Well, they're intelligent and she's good looking, and of course she went to this school and this girl, and she likes these things. These are the movies and books. Shit, like, what are you talking about? You haven't told me anything about this person yet. You've just told me some bullshit like Lego fucking like, it's a character from the Wild West theme. Like, what are you talking about?
You taught me a psychological profile that
exactly
I would be collecting. It's
this is disturbing. Like, why do you love them? Surely not because they like your fucking same movie,
Yeah, it's insane. But people know what they know. They have their own anchors in life that bring them or keep them in service to things darker than they could ever imagine. And they don't know that what they think about and what they matters, and to what they feel. You have ultimate power in what you think about, and you don't have to think about bombs going. Well, I mean, I guess you do have to think about it if there are bombs going around.
If they're right next to you,
around you.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
You definitely shouldn't, though. By the way, if it's on the other side of like wherever we are, like that's one thing I've always thought's mental. Why would you wake up in the peaceful area? Obviously, there's no peace, but obviously in the traditional war sense, why would you wake up and then immerse yourself in the trauma of the war over the other side of the
rumors and foreign wars? Are you kidding me? I'm worried about foreign wars. It's the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life, and I've never even discussed any new wars, because in my book, in this supposed age of enlightenment and of order, a war has no place in this world.
No.
And the fact that there is war in this world, it's artificially generated. It's not supposed to be.
Have you noticed this, by the way, dude? Every person that would want to battle this, because they've pushed the idea all masculinity is evil, the counter psyop is all masculinity is amazing. So the counter psyop you'll notice is no, embrace all martial elements. Embrace the idea that war is literally the base state of man. Yeah, basically destroy fascism using guns, bullets, round up the guys, and we'll crush them. Like, fucking hell, listen to yourself. Listen to yourselves, guys.
Yeah, tools of destruction. Like, a tool that's made for destruction cannot be made to create.
Exactly.
It doesn't work that way. And no one has any idea the real purpose of war. I mean, no one really has any idea.
Well, here's the thing. Again, that's one of those ones we won't touch on. But basically, I would just say again, that all I'll say is this. just think of how they present it in linguistically to you when you're joining. Like, I'll give you an example. A very big army that in theory is going to win. They don't say you're going to join, and it's like what they tell you is join, and like you're making the ultimate sacrifice. You're willing to die for this symbol. That all I'll say is that wording was not chosen accidentally. I actually do think war, essentially, mate, is like, do you want to opt into a fucked up Ponzi scheme? Come along. And the best thing is, as long as you can opt in or out, fucking opt out. I'm just telling you, trust me on this one, opt out.
Yeah, and if you are required to sacrifice to join the battlefield, well, that means the battlefield is an altar.
Yep.
Who the hell's going to know that, though? Oh, no, you see, safety.
That's where it gets a bit abstract, exactly. Yes. But I agree. All you have to do, again, is ignore what they're saying and look at the outcomes. The outcomes definitely aren't like it's just for territory. Yeah. No, it's like a specific type and number of people are going to be sacrificed in a certain way. For what? For a spiritual principle that you don't understand because it was given to you. Like, oh, mate, and there's a reason why, even in the modern day. No, that's just for tradition. Oh, it's weird how there's all these certain symbols all over me, Charles, all over my chest here, my thing here, and I'm carrying the flag, and like, mate, if you know anything about ritual, like we're doing one, we just don't know it.
Yeah, they don't understand that this is a sort of a sitcom in hell.
Yes,
Satan
exactly.
watches and laughs and eats those sacrifices to that altar, the burnt offerings, and then people could never understand that, and they never will. But it's ever since forever. You could read whatever book you have. There's always sacrifices. There's always religion. There's always dance. There's always music. There's always this and that. Warfare. There's a reason why they call it war theater. I guess it's just a coincidence. Yes. I guess it's just a random name.
Yeah. And by the way, even that I've found a few of those rabbit holes where you're like, ooh, wait a minute, how much theatre and a photo could be set up? How? Again, we won't hit the specifics because we know what we're doing here, but there's so much fuckery and all that stuff. And again, the genius of it is, as long as you know not to opt in, you don't even have to waste yourself find out what the specifics how they're fucking you are. Just don't opt in. Stay out in that sense.
Yeah, you can't opt in. I mean, ever since I learned that Alfred Hitchcock and John Ford and all these people were making lots of films and documentaries, and so that's when I knew that the theater was a literal term. It was very literal, and I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "All this stuff was Hollywood." Oh no! Oh man! I thought it was
wild, didn't it?
Yeah,
that's why the biggest shock of all time. Notice again how the most genius way to drop something true is to change how it's perceived, dilute it down, and give you it in a way where it's like, well, who really cares if that's true? By the way, everything that a normie says that about is actually probably leading you to the most important thing you could realize. Like, it's all fake, the whole thing. But the genius is they'll say something like, remember this, a really famous director, I think he actually directed a film that was about supposedly a true event. They were all doing that the whole time. That was the whole premise from day one. It's like my field, journalism, mate. I found this, the psyop with the journalists goes like this. They're all corrupt now because they're all owned by the same people. But there used to be these hero journalists in the 70s. No, you're talking about movies again, mate. You're now describing Fox Mulder and people in movies and fucking like, and whatever, these people who do
Woodward.
That guy never existed. Like, the whole point is it started as salaried agents pretending to be public figures, like informing you about what like the people want, the people behind the line paying them to want you to tell you is the truth and is the news. Like, that was literally how it began. Like, it was never anything else. As you say, they just allowed you a LARP in the middle. And spoiler, you notice in all these LARPs, you're a hero because they kill you. It's always that in it. You know what, mate? If I don't want to be a hero and I don't want to be killed, I don't necessarily don't want to die. I feel like that might be inevitable, but I don't want to be the hero who gets killed. That's shit.
Yeah, martyred. Well, what's the point of being martyred where your sacrifices goes down into a toilet? It goes to nothing. Everyone laughs at you and then you're forgotten and erased from the internet, or from whatever books or whatever. Yeah, no one has any idea. No one has any idea that a technology of illusion is something that runs the world. And no one will ever know because the movies create their reality, but they're only movies. You can hire a director to do whatever you want. Directors directed movies that people wouldn't ever believe. And people think that a director that creates illusion can also create truth. No, I don't think so.
No.
Those who wield illusion are incapable of creating truth. They only invert and blaspheme and turn things around and subvert your life. No, they're not the good guys. Hey, we've all enjoyed movies, but no, the filmmakers are not the good guys. Not one single one.
Do you ever think?
I enjoy them.
As an aside, do you ever think that like some of them, listen, they're all captured and compromised. I accept that openly. I've just looked into it too much, and I have my own industry, mate, which you can imagine. I never stopped. I never found the bottom of the filth. It just kept going and kept going and kept going, and everyone I knew got compromised and turned. And it's just the way it is. I realise that's just every industry. That is what industry itself. Think about the term I'm using. I'm not saying a bunch of people. Fucking industry. Like, you're constantly a machine. By definition, they're churning out a type of person, a type of product, even if the product is you or the person watching. So the thing I would ask is this: are there people though who maybe naively, or maybe even on some fucked up level, they do think, look, if I tell you a bit of truth though, and you don't accept it, then you're sort of complicit in my darkness, and maybe it's not as bad. You know, in the same way as someone, like, famously, like, I like to smoke weed, but the difference is I don't proselytize, mate, and I don't go like, hey, everybody, we all have to do it, man, because it's like freedom, bro. They don't want us to. That's just you're trying to get people to do your degeneracy as well, so you feel it's not as bad. Do you think some of the people who are putting is that why sometimes some of the ideas are legit? Is it all just tainted breadcrumbs? Do you think sometimes they're sort of in a fucked up way, almost trying to make the plea for help, like, look, I sort of know something's wrong, even though I'm sort of captured? Is there any of that, do you think?
Yeah, I think that it's not possible to hide. I don't believe it's possible to hide what you really are.
Right.
I don't think it is, and I just don't think it is. And even if some of the fruit that you make is pretty crazy, you can't hide. And even subconsciously driven by things that you don't know, you will piece together and try to put some sort of an SOS out. I guess you could say that sort of conspiracy. I guess if you want to talk about Stanley Kubrick, I think that no matter what, there is in some way a revelation of the method that isn't only for darkness and for cosmic karma relief. I think that some of it is done genuinely.
Some of it feels like they're throwing you a bone, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I can't say the whole thing, but look, kid, like, sort of, here's a napkin, look at that.
Yeah, and if you're not smart enough to figure it out, well, it looks like you don't deserve to know yet.
Yes.
Yet. I mean, everyone understands these things, maybe at the point of death, like everything will come to them and they'll remember everything. So, I really believe that there's salvation for everybody. I don't wish hell or prison or death upon anybody, not my worst enemies, not the worst monsters, because you can't be darkness and be light at the same time.
Yes.
I don't think it's possible. So movies aren't exactly light, but there are some things that are for your benefit, but they will be disguised in some subconscious way. I mean, I don't pretend I'm not. It's not like I'm directing Hollywood movies, but I just know that it can't. It's not.
Well, put it this way, on the last one, we obviously both agreed, especially sort of some of the stuff. It's funny enough, it's not the Lord of the Rings stuff. It's the other stuff that C.S. Lewis did that was some fucking just check it out, boys. Some mega stuff. But I was even thinking about this recently because obviously, like I said, that's why people keep saying that line about evil, because obviously the current topic is all about C.S. Lewis, isn't it? And fucking all the shit with J.R.R. Tolkien and all these guys are coming back again and again. But if you notice, they're coming back in more and more fucked up ways. And this is one of the reasons. I had someone ask me about this the other day, about why, why are you against AI generated art? It's because it instantly triggers in me that uncanny valley feeling of there's something wrong about this. Yeah, like I said to someone, with certain shows, think about huge shows using brands and things that you loved from maybe actually legit writers. I say the reason I can't vibe with it, I don't care how well produced it is. I don't care if it looks cool, if it says something that sounds fun. The problem is the vibe I have is I've contacted a demon who's wearing the face of a dead relative of mine, and they're like, I could tell you what he would have wanted to say to you. It's like, get the fuck out of my face, cleanse this area, get it out. I can't. There's something so, like you say, it's so viscerally disgusting.
Yes, yeah, it's viscerally disgusting, and it's not even politics. It's just the quality of the people making these films has been degraded and gatekept to such a degree where only the worst of the worst are allowed to make the art that is esteemed to the highest degree. And it's HR, human resources controls everything. And when I look at AI art, it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. Well, it makes me sick. It makes me laugh when I see people proselytize it, because the same people that are proselytizing it will be replaced and erased. Like
when they say that crazy line, they'll say in the future it'll all be like this. If you actually think that, I don't think you know what you are wishing for. Who the fuck would want pure demonic channeling into your brain? Exactly. You don't even want any humans involved anywhere along the middle. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it sounds like the demons are in control of all of our art, and people will proselytize it, and it's just crazy. They don't know that they're building their own replacement, and they will be laughed at in the end and erased. and then no human will be making art. It'll be the Borg cube. It'll be the Hellraiser cube. It'll be the Cenobites. It's those that will turn atrocity into beauty.
I even used that analogy recently, dude, because I said the reason it's a bit like Hellraiser is because the joke is remember, the people who would open the box were the ones who wanted the ultimate pleasure. Well, guess what? In the inversion, the ultimate pleasure is the ultimate torture. Yeah, exactly. Who the fuck would want that? The joke is they're just like, hey, let's get that box going. We need that tech, actually.
Yeah, we need to get higher. We need to have more sex. We need to turn it to the lament configuration in order that we know. And the Cenobite training is truly the training of the world. It is to turn pain into pleasure.
Yes, exactly.
And that's the ultimate aim for everything. And look, Hellraiser is the best of all time. It is so funny and so good. It's so awesome. I mean, I love Hellraiser.
It is a dark comedy. People don't understand. It's not supposed to be a horror movie. I know, exactly. Yes.
When Uncle Frank shows up to the house and his brother's wife is immediately completely just under a spell of experiences, it is so funny. And Uncle Frank is so good. He's freaking got the switchblade out, freaking taking clothes off. He's
that stupid fucking, like, obviously the punchline of the whole movie when he goes, Jesus wept. It's like that's like some dark comedy, mate. They're playing to the fucking the cheap seats. You know what I mean?
He's got hooks in him. He's got
exactly like as though that's the thing you'd say in that moment. I know what you'd actually say would be like, kill me, but instead he's fucking loving it. I know it's mental in it.
Yeah, it's really just
the message of that movie really wasn't what they pretended it was, and it wasn't at all.
Oh no, you can't escape turning something bad into something good if you're adept at it. And I love it. I love it so much. I put on the movies with the most atrocity, and I can't believe it. And these things used to deeply affect me. In bad ways, but now, I mean, they deeply affect me in good ways. They make me laugh. They make me laugh harder than anything when you have atrocity.
Well, we were saying earlier, mate, if the salve to real spiritual pain is like mirth, joy, happiness, then you have to be able to use it on the worst wounds, right? And these are the psychic wounds that we've all been delivered to us our whole lives watching these bloody movies and TV shows.
Oh yeah, watching snuff and rape for our whole lives, even as children. What house was there that didn't have a TV? Who of this age didn't watch Hellraiser and movies like The Thing?
Oh, everyone was trying to watch the 18s. When they were of course. Or you call them X-rated, but everyone was rushing. That was the ultimate appeal, was you wanted to watch the movies you weren't allowed to watch, of course, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's so good. But when you're young, they damage you in ways that you can't see.
Oh, they do.
But you can come out of it. But if people that don't know that they've been damaged, there's no hope for them. There's only faith. Hope. I
actually do believe, by the way, obviously I can't make this as blank statement, it can only be from my perspective. I actually do believe, as long as you don't do certain things potentially to your physiology, like I do get the feeling if you fuck up your body and your mind, like certain things essentially they'll want people to do now and in the future. As long as you don't do those things, I actually do think you always can come back. I almost feel like the soul, as long as there's some ember of it, can be rehabilitated. As you say, even your worst enemy, in theory, if they haven't really like absolutely devoured their soul and their body and everything, I feel like even they could come back.
Yes, and the only weapon, I guess if you want to call it your weapon, I mean, you could curse your enemies, you curse yourself. If you pray, I know it sounds trash, I understand, but you pray for your enemies, you pray for their healing, you bless yourself. You bless your enemies, you bless
anyone
yourself.
Who thinks that sounds wacky, try it. Because here's what you'll find. Even if, like, you're going to all think, well, obviously it can't have any effect outside of yourself, right? I don't even think that's true, but let's imagine it was true. Just wait for the effect it'll have on you. Wait for the resentment to drop. Wait for you to start to maybe even go, actually, they have their own fucked up problems too, And in fact, I could destroy them. But if I destroy them, by the way, how do they ever get redeemed? And what's more, maybe destroying them is what makes me irredeemable.
Yes. You cannot be the agent of other people's destruction, because you only sacrifice a part of your own soul. And if you do it too much, then there's no redemption. There cannot be redemption for you. So I leave all that to something else, and I'm not going to brood and to curse, because it only just bounces back on yourself, and then you waste minutes, hours, days of your life cursing somebody instead of making something.
I know you only recently, we only connected like on Twitter and stuff recently, but if you've seen, right, it's only been briefly, so let's see if this holds. I think it will.
Yeah.
I've kind of tried to change my perspective on what I'm doing with like social media and stuff. You've noticed one of our problems was, because I'm coming from the world of being a journalist where people are attacking you and your credibility, and then they're saying there's a lie and you're trying to prove, no, it isn't, look here, and then this person said this. Like, I used to be caught in that world all the time on Twitter, mate. I would be arguing with all the fans and every bloody stupid idea, and every person who said, it is. Oh man, it's mega addictive. And I tell you what,
it had me laughing forever.
Tell you what, I used to get really good at it. Yeah, I used to try and figure out. I used to be the best at slamming them and taking them down and finding the info. And that's super addictive in itself. But what I've realized is, I'm just wrecking myself. Like, ultimately, I am myself degrading myself. I'm stuck in that world. I'm not happy. Like, I'm trying to extricate myself from that because, again, that doesn't work either. That wasn't a path. No. I was stuck in a cul-de-sac.
Yeah. It gets you in that the old carousel of attacking and weaponized rhetoric when you could be doing fun instead. And you know, we all love that mockery, and especially when you're really, really good at it. It's really funny because it's just funny. But you know, I mean, at the end of the day, I think the accumulation of enemies is not the aim of life.
Oh, mate, that's one thing I wish you could go back and tell me. Obviously, I would never listen because you have to go through the experience, don't you? No, if you don't realize, one of the things I've actually done, because remember, again, I had this whole vision of I'm the one standing up and I'm saying the true thing. All I did is I just collected thousands and thousands of enemies that wouldn't even have known I existed. But now I've just got an endless list. And the only way to stop, you know this, I thought it was to lop all their heads off. No, the only way to stop is to stop collecting. I have to stop collecting enemies.
If you take one head off the Hydra, there's another one waiting, and there's another one growing right back. So you make two. You make two enemies when you make one.
That's even how this system, and especially the online stuff with the demonic, that's how it works. That's why you can't ever beat it. In fact, it's in the Matrix. Eventually, remember, he beats the first Agent Smith. Then the second movie, there's 1,000 of them, and they all run around him. Like, it's even in the fucking movies.
Yeah, it's right in your face. All the movies pretty much teach you what not to do.
Yes. Yeah,
they teach you the opposite of what you think you should do, and it's just so funny because you can have some good times with that stuff, but because you're of the real internet age. The best age, where if you didn't like something someone said, you either dealt with it or you killed yourself. So you're from the binary days of the internet.
I always joke that it was PvP. Everything was PvP on the internet originally. Because you know, in the later, like one of those games, they used to make us like, oh, you can only fight in the designated area. It's like the whole internet was PvP. You just went online, you were wrecking this guy's an idiot, you're battling, jokes about this person, get this person off this forum. Oh, everything. But when you were younger, that was fun in a fucked up way.
Oh yeah, but I've seen some. I know them personally a little bit, but I don't know their personal life. But I've seen some comedy legends. Just because of I don't know much about their lives. Could be so many different things, but I'm sure the accumulation of enemies in internet warfare is definitely one of the causes of something. Just blow their fucking brains out.
That's the other thing. You know, everyone's worried about the idea that, like, oh no, they're going to bust in the door and kill me and then my dog. No, Brit, the most likely outcome if you keep going down this path is you'll be the one who wields the weapon on yourself and ends yourself. That even seems to be the main underlying message of mass criticism that may or not even be from real humans, is just kill yourself and this ends.
Yes.
That's the vibe they're giving me.
It's what the DMT machine elves will throw at you if you ever go to their side. Kill yourself and you can be with God. That shit. I mean, it may as well be real considering the atrocity in this world.
By the way, as an aside, because I was someone who was massively into exactly the person, Terence McKenna and all that stuff, all I'll tell people is this. That's not even hidden anymore. Look into it, and genuinely, there's a point halfway through his life where he himself stops taking these substances. And the reason he only told his privileged people in his circle was, I am terrified. It has shown me there is a nihilistic nothingness to existence. And yet, the message was supposed to be from his experiences, this is transcendent beauty. That is the real secret to life. Dude, he went into the Hellraiser configuration.
Yeah, and when you get into that, I've never been into the lament configuration, but we've all rattled atrocity off in our heads, and when you have those things off in your head, you do serious damage. I mean, incredible. When your empathy is used against you, and you start empathizing and putting yourself in atrocities way. I mean, the damage that it does is so incredibly deep. It's really, really, really shocking. And as soon as you sort of step out of that, then you might have a chance in healing the things that have already destroyed you, that you didn't even know about.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's the other thing. To keep you chasing your tail, fighting, tilting at windmills, fighting imaginary wars as a proxy warrior. Like, when are you actually going to start the quest into your life and who the fuck you are?
Yeah. When are these people going to realize that they're fucking idiots, morons, stupid, dumb? It's spiritually ignorant, emotionally ignorant, intellectually filled with lies.
Mate, that list of deadly sins is a fucking banger right there, isn't it? Because,
my God.
Do you know how many times I've been the guy who, think about this. I was taught I am right. I didn't do the thing first and I have nailed the person correctly. Mate, how much pride am I going to do there? Like, fucking hell, dude. Like, I'm made it all about me being the best. Like, the joke is, I think I'm like showing I'm righteous when I'm not. I'm actually showing like this is all about self-aggrandization on some level.
Yeah. Self-righteousness is the ultimate invisible killer and the ultimate magnetizer to the demons, in this world. And people mock the Bible, they mock the Quran, they mock every book, they mock the 10 commandments or however many commandments there were, they mock the 7 deadly sins. But these guideposts have been around forever, and they're right in your face. The keys to the kingdom have never been hidden. They've been right in your face.
It's like you said earlier. I don't even think you can hide them, right? That's why you have to try and pervert them and how they're interpreted, right?
Yeah. You have to flip them upside down and then fly them up the flagpole and then force everyone to salute. Force everyone to salute. And you can't force the old people to salute. You just wait till they die. You have their children salute it because it's the only thing they know. Time, no one has any idea, and no one really does. And I've only started sort of really doing some deep work with the spiritual text, and it's really, really done wonders and making me realize how stupid I really am, and how I mean, look, I'm not the worst man in the world, but anybody is capable of transgressing these sins without knowing it. Swearing to God that you were doing the right thing, or you're not.
It makes it the easiest way to do it. Yeah, if you think you're doing the right thing, of course.
And there's nothing worse. I mean, there's delusion, but there's nothing worse than self-delusion, because it takes you decades to even discover you've been deluding yourself. It's really, really crazy. And when you really come to grips with how you've transgressed in the past or whatever the hell, that's the only place you can be that can get you to a higher level, is to realize that you're not worthy of wisdom, and that you really have to purge yourself of these bad things and make yourself worthy of anything at all. And it's
what about this? As we're coming to the end here, one thing I thought would be cool is, can you give someone like a book or something like that, something that you would just say, here's a breadcrumb, or something that'll get you going on the path of sustaining yourself, as it were.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's easy to say the Bible, but I wasn't ready to read the Bible or the Quran.
Do you have a way to read it that you'd suggest?
Well, I like Proverbs. That's the best way to start. But what I mean is those sacred texts are often way too advanced for the normal idiot.
Yes.
So it's hard for me to recommend those things, because I'm only just starting to get into them.
Sure.
But they've been doing some wonders. But there are some books that really get you to a really good place, that make you really aware of things. And my favorite is Dispelling Wetiko by God Almighty. I have to look up his freaking name. Like Paul Levy?
Yes, Paul Levy.
Yeah, Paul Levy. Dispelling Wetiko, and the sequel to the book just came out, Wetiko. I just started reading that. But that was perhaps the most significant revelation I've ever had, is realizing that there's a mind virus and a soul virus and a spiritual demonic process that's very systematic, that infects people without them knowing it. And that really gave a definition to something that I was unable to articulate for my whole life. And I said, oh my God, it's not that people are just evil and they do bad things because they're animals. I say people are driven to do these things by forces and principalities of whatever you want to call them in the spiritual realm that are unseen with the eyes. You can only discover them through I don't know. I'm still doing it. But dispelling Wetiko is really, if one hasn't read that, they're at a huge disadvantage to really interpreting how evil really works and how they can be infected without them knowing. Even while they're thinking they're Jesus Christ, you can still be so infected and you don't even know it. And so I really like that one the most. That's really the most recommended text I put out there. And the other one is most certainly the Space Trilogy by C.S. Lewis, because the third one, That Hideous Strength, is real prophecy and the real articulation of evil. Not like
it's not basically just the sci-fi you think it is. That's just like that is the show going to make the medicine go down, right?
Yeah, for real. Because if he wrote this, if any of the Inklings wrote their things in a very literal sense, they would be dead sooner than they were.
Yes.
So they had to dress it in fantasy, and Lewis and Tolkien, they knew how to address these things because they wrote for children. I mean, I'm not saying the Space Trilogy is exactly for children, but Narnia is certainly blessed.
Of course.
Blessed beyond comparison. And I've never been a big fan of Lord of the Rings. I just never have. I hate the movie.
It's pretty dry writing.
Oh my God, it just makes me sick. But and it is pretty dry. I mean, I did the audiobook a long time ago. It was nice to have Tom Bombadil in there. I mean, he was really glorious.
Yeah, it's a very consistent character. Yeah,
absolutely the most fantastic I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But that was a really good experience. So I guess I should try reading that again. But I've never been a fan. But I knew that all the Inklings, especially Lewis and Tolkien, were straight up absolute legends that knew the real history of this earth, and they were closer to the truth of Satan and of the Creator than anybody else. So I really like the Space Trilogy, and That Hideous Strength is truly terrifying. The most terrifying thing I've ever read in my life. And people really have to understand what objectivity training in That Hideous Strength is, where when one is initiated and defiled and is made to blaspheme the beautiful and life and creation and good, and then they are initiated into the cult. It's really, some of these guys were speaking.
That sounds on the nose, mate. Yeah.
Oh no, I mean, old Charles Williams from the Inklings. He was in Golden Dawn. He was in OTO. So I mean, he saw some things that would make you kill yourself if you saw.
There you go.
Let me put it that
exactly.
way. So the objectivity training in That Hideous Strength is the most terrified I've ever been in my life. It was. There's nothing more horrifying. It's like Hellraiser times 1,000. Well, of course, it's not sexually perverse.
No, but by the way, that would be the greatest cover text ever for that book. It's like Hellraiser times 1,000. Charls Carroll.
Yeah, those are really
That's
true.
pretty good.
And I also like Real Magic by Dean Radin. I think.
Oh, I know this one. Yes.
Yeah,
this guy trying to do scientific experiments into like fringe areas. Yes.
Yeah, through ritual and magic and all that stuff, and it really puts things in perspective, because you don't want to. I mean, unless you want to start reading Aleister Crowley like a fucking loser. Unless you want to start doing disgusting bullshit like that, you go. I mean, people can do that, I guess, but I wouldn't ever touch anything by those freaks. So you really have to go to someone clean like C.S. Lewis, who is the cleanest I know of in the world in history. He should be in the holy books. He should be a prophet, because he was the real deal. So I really like those books, especially with Tico. I mean, especially all of them, and also just for kicks. Just for the fiction kicks. I mean, Gene Wolfe and the Book of the New Sun, starting with The Shadow of the Torturer, I think is truly so spectacular. It's not exactly, well, I mean, I guess maybe it is spiritually advancing. Maybe I haven't really picked up on it, but it's just some of the greatest fiction I've ever read in my life. People like to say, oh, George R.R. Martin, he writes freaking, I don't know, something Game of Thrones. I puke. When I think of Game of Thrones, I puke. When I think of anything new, I puke. And just look at the way the guy looks. That's all you really need to say.
Yeah,
honestly.
enough said.
I mean,